It's a familiar face coming into Arnie Allen Diamond at Guv Fuller Field tonight. The Falmouth Commodores welcome the Bourne Braves for the second time in 4 days. Hello and welcome to another edition of Opening the Door along with Logan Soforenko and Carter Bainbridge. I'm Trey Redfield. So glad you're with us tonight for the Dores and Bravos. Logan, let's talk about what happened last night. A big-time win for the Dores, taking down the Harbor Hawks by a score of 3-2.
Well, it was about time we finally got one against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and in comeback fashion. They only trailed by 1 run, but they were able to capitalize off a 2-run inning, and then all of a sudden later on in the game we saw Josiah Cromwick go the other way to give some much-needed insurance as they escaped with just a 3-2 victory as they got Riku Nishida as he swiped 2 bags in the same inning, and he capitalized on the Falmouth Commodores pitching, taking a little bit of time getting the ball back to Josh Stewart, so he took third base. Then Levi Wells came in, but nevertheless, they walked away with the win. Levi Wells got the 5-out save, and they didn't commit 1 error last night.
You said the word capitalize, which is a perfect turn over to you, Carter. The Commodores capitalized on the Wareham Gatemen last night, despite not even playing them. Wareham lost last night at Harwich and White House Field. Falmouth got the W. Now it's a 2-point difference between Wareham and Falmouth for that last spot in the Western Division to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so a couple different things could happen today, but it all revolves around the Dores getting another win against a Western Division team. That's the key for them as this season heads down kind of the final stretch over these past couple weeks in July. The Dores have had a lot of close losses to Western Division teams this year, but finally they came out on the other end of a tight contest yesterday against Hyannis when in the late innings it was 3-2. The Hawks put a couple guys on, but Levi Wells came in to close the door in that game. So clutch performance has been cruel to the Dores this summer, but they came through last night, and that's momentum to build on as we head into a pretty crucial stretch against some Western Division rivals.
Levi Wells, Logan, closed the door defensively on the mound, but the Commodores couldn't really do that offensively. They left 12 runners on base last night in Hyannis. There's that. But also, you want to bring a positive into this, the Commodores had 0 errors last night in a game for the first time this season. A couple of positives and negatives to take into tonight, Logan.
Yeah, especially when it comes to getting runners on. That next thing you play the game the next day and you say, all we got to do is just figure out a way to get the ball into the outfield. We saw a lot of big swings in that 6th inning where we saw 2 runs getting scored. Luke Boyers almost had himself a huge 3-run home run, but it died just at the fence. So maybe not necessarily swinging for the long ball, but getting it into the outfield is probably what's going to be at stake for today if they want to get those runners scored. Because the last time the Harbor Hawks were here at the Guv Fuller Field, they stranded just as many base runners, not 12. They stranded 9, but they came away with the win. So sometimes that's just how baseball goes.
It's just baseball, Susan, right? Sometimes that's just the way it goes, but you really got to get on base at the end of the day, right? But, Carter, let's talk about who's on the mound today for the Commodores. It's Chase Jeter making his 3rd straight Friday start. There have been 3 home games for the Dores this season. Jeter getting all 3 starts.
And Jeter has been quietly dependable for the Dores this summer. He carries a 2.13 ERA in his first 5 games into today. So the Dores feel pretty good about having him on the mound. He's not the highest velo guy on this staff. He's more of a command pitcher, works down in the zone, uses his break to get ground ball outs. His last start was against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in this ballpark in a loss that the Dores took. He went 4 innings in that game, gave up 2 runs. Only 1 of them was earned. He's usually pretty stingy with base runners and in the run department. So if you're the Commodores, you feel pretty good about Jeter on the mound today. And don't forget, he's pitched a lot in this ballpark after coming back from last summer where he pitched with the Dores in 2021 as well.
Last year, he came in as a reliever. It was the first time he was ever a reliever, but now transitioning more back into that starting role that he had at Sacred Heart. But, Logan, let's talk about the Bourne starter. It's Anothy Arguelles out of Miami.
Yeah, Anothy Arguelles coming into today, just 1 appearance on the season, but he hasn't given up a base hit. He struck out 4, only walked 1 batter. That was in a win against the Catuit Cavaliers in which the Bourne Braves won 12-7. But, yeah, you mentioned it. He was with the Hurricanes this past spring, a 2-0 record, 4.82 ERA, but he also transferred from Miami, or before Miami, from JUCO. So has a long journey because right now his journey goes to Virginia Tech because he's going to be with the Hokies in the fall. So he's looking to keep things rolling for the Braves because their pitching, not necessarily the best last night, only 2 runs given up. But on the other end, at Chatham, they were tossing some pretty nice baseball against the Bourne Braves all the way up until the 9th inning, and we all know what happened then.
Yeah, what happened was that Mac Horvath hit a walk-off grand slam in case you missed it. We were on the radio broadcast, and I was going off the air, and you were starting to freak out a little bit. I get off, I'm like, what's going on? Horvath hit the walk-off grand slam. That's the momentum to take into tonight if you're the Bourne Braves, right?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you think about the amount of comeback victories they've had. They've won 5 of their last 6 coming into today, and they've been just absolutely spectacular comeback victories. You think about the first one where they put up an 11 spot in the top of the 9th inning to defeat the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, in which you talked about it. Phil Matulia was on the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks because, hey, might as well throw in a position player in there. But then coming into today, Bourne trailed by 2 going into the 9th inning. They put up a 6th spot, and now they trail the Hyannis Harbor Hawks by just 2 points for 2nd place in the Western Division, and Hyannis trails Kitsui by just 1 point. So realistically, the top 3 teams, it's anyone's game, and that's something Bourne is coming into today knowing, because they could walk out of here with 2nd place tonight, at least tied with a Hyannis loss and a Bourne win.
It's getting excited at the top of the Western Division standings, but Carter near the bottom, the Commodores, like I mentioned, just 2 points behind the Gatemen. Who are you looking at for Falmouth to propel the Dores up to that potentially 4th place spot? A tie could happen if Wareham loses today and if Falmouth wins. Who do you have your eye on tonight for the Dores?
Well, it's the guy we've already talked about on this pregame show, and that's Chase Jeter. The Dores are going to have to get good starting pitching today, and good pitching all across the board if they want to hold off this Braves lineup. It's a lineup that doesn't score a ton of runs. They're middle of the pack in a lot of offensive categories, but they run like the wind, and they've come up with a lot of clutch performances like the one we saw last night. It wasn't the first time that they've had a 9th inning comeback. They've done it twice in their last 5 games. So these Braves stick around until the end of games. You're going to have to put your good guys on the mound to try to stem that tide when Bourne starts to get things going late in games.
So Carter focusing on Chase Jeter, the pitcher. Who are you focusing on for the Bourne Braves, Logan?
Well, that's going to be the guy of last night, Mac Horvath. Mac Horvath, he made his Bourne Braves debut the last time the Bourne Braves played the Dores here at the Guv Fuller Field. And that was at the beginning parts of this week. And the Dores kept them in check. But also, aside from Mac Horvath, who hit the grand slam, the Dores are going to see Matt Shaw, who is in the lineup tonight, and an absolute stud from Maryland. We talked about him earlier this week, thinking he was going to be in the lineup on Wednesday night. That wasn't the case because we mentioned that really boring game. It was a 1-0 loss that went in favor of the Bourne Braves. The only run of offense was that Matt Shaw home run. So Matt Shaw, Horvath, Chris Brito, he is the Cape League leader in exit velo, so got to keep your eye on that first baseman from Rutgers, but it's going to be a big one tonight.
It's going to be a tall task tonight for Chase Jeter. Logan mentioned the big 3 for the Bourne Braves. It's going to be a fun one, to say the least. That's Carter Bainbridge and Logan Soforenko. I'm Trey Redfield. I'll be on the field tonight. It's the Dores and the Bravos coming up soon.
Batting 6th, the 3rd baseman from Penn, number 13, Wyatt Hensler. Batting 7th, the center fielder from Louisiana Lafayette, number 6, Carson Rocafort. Batting 8th, the designated hitter from East Carolina, number 32, Josh Moyland. Batting 9th, the catcher from UNC, number 4, Tomas Frick. And on the mound tonight, from Virginia Tech, number 15, Anothy Arguelles. And now, the starting lineup for your Falmouth Commodores. Leading off, the shortstop from Duke, number 4, Alex Mooney. Batting 2nd, the 3rd baseman from Florida, number 7, Colby Halter. Batting 3rd, the 2nd baseman from Arkansas, number 10, Peyton Stovall. Batting 4th, the 1st baseman from Oregon, number 33, Jacob Walsh. Batting 5th, the center fielder from Alabama, number 24, Andrew Pinkney. Batting 6th, the catcher from Oregon, number 12, Josiah Cromwick. Batting 7th, the right fielder from South Florida, number 16, Drew Brutcher. Batting 8th, the designated hitter from Oklahoma, number 21, Jackson Nicholas. Batting 9th, the left fielder from Texas A&M, number 2, Travis Chestnut. And on the mound tonight from Bryant, number 22, Chase Jeter. The umpires tonight at first base is Eric Carmona. At third base is Ryan DeMar. And behind the plate is Carlos Dolmo. Throwing out the first pitch tonight will be Finn Rotler. Finn Ocean Rotler is 5 years old and from Falmouth. Finn had a great time at the Commodores baseball clinic learning from the best players. Finn loves the beach, baseball, and family. A family friend of the Rotlers is the mason that installed Phase 2 of the Commodore bricks. Go check out Finn's brick. Finn loves being a part of the Commodores family. All right, Finn, let's see the heat.
Well, we're here at the field for another edition of Hot Seat. Carter Bainbridge with the Falmouth bullpen catcher, Willie Baker, America's bullpen catcher, the people's catcher. Willie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. This is awesome. It's been a great experience being here, and I've loved getting to know the guys and learning from all of them and from all the coaches. It's been a great ride.
So Willie's a guy who's a lot behind the scenes, does plenty of work with the guys in the bullpen. But Willie, how long have you been here with the Dores?
So I've been here with the team since the beginning of the summer, but I've grown up following the team. This was the one that I would come to. I grew up in the next town over in Mashpee, and so coming to these games was just like a tradition with me and my dad. So it's awesome to get to have the uniform on and be able to help the team win however I can.
And you do some catching over at Georgetown, right? How's that going?
That was great. So I caught for the team in the fall, and then now I'm working in coaching over there as well, and that's what I think I want to get into. So that's what lends itself greatly to this too, being able to learn from these coaches as well as the coaches over at Georgetown, and using, still having fun catching, but also being able to, learn about, how to help guys get better and how to help teams win, has just been great for me to be able to, have that experience.
So you've gotten to know a couple guys here from Syracuse, including myself. Does that Syracuse-Georgetown basketball rivalry mean anything to you?
It's starting to mean more and more the more I talk to the upperclassmen and kind of get the history behind it. We won this year at our place, and so to be able to see that crowd and be able to be at that game and kind of feel the energy that was potent in that game, I can tell that it's definitely something there. So I'm excited for the next 3 years of being able to hopefully do what we did this year and take care of you guys on over there at Capital One.
So is that basketball, is that a sport that maybe you like second best to baseball, or is it another sport behind baseball?
It's second for me. I mean, I loved playing basketball in high school. You know, my team ended up going to play at the TD Garden in our semifinal game during my freshman year. So I've loved growing up, you know, with basketball with the Celtics, and you know, it's definitely like my second favorite sport, I'd say, for sure.
Dave Smaller. This husband and wife duo grew up on Cape Cod and attended Falmouth High School. Dave is a United States Marine who served 2 tours under Operation Iraqi Freedom. They perform at local venues and charity events both as an acoustic duo, One More Slice, and as the lead singers of the On the Rocks band playing 70s, 80s, and 90s rock. The charity events include Homeless for the Holidays, Remember September, Falmouth Road Race in the fall, Fresh Pond Holy Ghost, Portuguese Fest, and Sousa Palooza. Sylvia and Dave are active in the Falmouth boating community, love gardening, and sell plants at their Wicked Pissa garden stand in East Falmouth. Please rise and remove your caps for the performance of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, for the words we love to hear, we welcome back Finn.
Play ball.
On a beautiful Friday night, a red shirt Friday night in Falmouth, Massachusetts, it's the Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores in a Western Division matchup. The Dores are looking to start a winning streak after a very fine victory in Hyannis last night. The Braves, on the other hand, are looking to win game number 6 out of their last 7 contests. And it's great to have you with us as we welcome you inside the broadcast booth, along with Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko here. We'll be hearing from Trey Redfield throughout the broadcast and in a couple of minutes. But, Carter, let's jump right into things. The Bourne Braves coming into today have won 5 of their last 6. But the Dores coming into today had a very fine win in Hyannis last night, 3-2.
Yeah, the Dores, the challenge for them today is not just to take down a very, very hot Bourne Braves team, but it's to start winning against Western Division opponents. Coming into tonight, the Dores have played 15 games against teams from the West. They've won only 5 of them. If you're winning only a third of the time against teams you have to catch up to, it has been very, very hard for the Dores to gain ground in the West, but they entered the day only 2 points behind the Wareham Gatemen in 4th place, and we know the Gatemen already trail the Hyannis Harbor Hawks right now.
Well, the Falmouth Commodores saw the Bourne Braves earlier this week at Guv Fuller Field, and they're looking to make some corrections coming into today. For more on that, we send it down to the third member of our team, Trey Redfield. Trey, what do you got?
Logan, thanks so much. For the second time in 4 games, the Commodores are taking on the Braves right here at Guv Fuller Field. On Tuesday, it was Bourne that took down Falmouth by a score of 4-3. And talking about tonight's matchup with Dores head coach Jeff Trundy, he told me something very simple. His team just needs to execute. That is the key to make sure the Commodores are on the right side of these close games. Knowing what's at stake tonight, if Falmouth wins and if Wareham loses, then it sets up a tie for 4th place in the Western Division, which would mean a juicy matchup is coming up tomorrow night between none other than Falmouth and Wareham. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
Well, isn't that saying something, especially with the Wareham-Gateman? Could be matchup number 2, where we've said it could be the most important contest of the season. But it's a day right now where the Dores are looking to squeak one against the Bourne Braves. And for the 3rd straight Redshirt Friday, the Falmouth Commodores will send out Chase Jeter, the lefty from now Bryant University. And he has had some very fine stuff. He's been very reliable these past couple of starts, especially out of his bullpen role, which happened in the early parts of the season. But he's been really fine as a starter.
Jeter this season, again, has been a reliable arm. He's a returner from last summer when he was a 2021 Cape League All-Star. And he's kept up that pace this year, so we very well could see him out at Spillane Field in the All-Star game in just a couple days, about a week's time. So far this season, a 2.13 ERA in 5 games. His last 2 appearances have been starts, and he's been throwing the ball well lately.
Well, the Falmouth Commodores will see a very strong Bourne lineup, starting with Josh Peck. It's going to be John Peck, Matt Shaw, Chris Brito, Evan Slight, Mac Horvath, Wyatt Hensler, Carson Rockefeller, Joshua Moylan, and Tomas Frick. 76 degrees here at Guv Fuller Field. First pitch right on time at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard. John Peck leading things off for the Braves. We're underway as he sends that one the other way towards the line and foul. 0-1. John Peck coming into today, hitting .205 with 5 extra base hits, 8 runs driven in. He's walked 8, so struck out 33 times and has swiped 7 bags. The Pepperdine wave. He swings and drives one into the gap in right field, but it drops for a base hit as Drew Brutcher tried to make a catch. It's a leadoff single for John Peck.
The Dores need to be careful to avoid the type of start they had the last time they played in this ballpark against the Brewster Whitecaps just 2 days ago. It was Josh Roberge who started that game and gave up 3 runs to the Caps in the first inning. A triple, a walk, and back-to-back doubles spelled trouble for him that day. So for Jeter, who's been stingy with the runs, he's got to buckle down in the early going to give the Dores a chance.
Well, that's going to bring up Matt Shaw, the second baseman from Maryland. First pitch he sees, he sends in the air to right, twisting towards the line, and Brutcher can't make the catch. Drops in foul territory, and perhaps he lost that one in the sun, which is indeed angled towards that right field corner.
Definitely a tough one for him to track down. Might have had it in the sun, might have caught a little bit of wind. You never know, but it didn't appear from here that he even got a glove on it, so no error for Brutcher on that play. Interestingly enough, Peck was back at first base. He was planning to tag on that ball if Brutcher made the catch. Might have set up a pretty interesting play at second base, but didn't materialize.
Perhaps he dropped it on purpose. On a 0-1 pitch, Matt Shaw takes ball 1 outside, 1-1. Shaw coming into today. Fantastic numbers here on Cape Cod with the Bravos. Hitting .345, 8 doubles, 4 home runs. Driven in 16. He's walked 9 times and has struck out 24 times. Grounds this one foul. 1-2. And Matt Shaw getting some high praise from the Maryland social media squad because he was a dog out there with Maryland. Jeter checks on John Peck over there at first. Peck does have 7 stolen bases. If the Dores want to be careful and not have what happened last night happen again, they're going to check on him even more. 1-2. Breaking ball misses upstairs. 2-2.
Well, one advantage for Jeter and one thing to keep your eye on tonight is that it's typically harder to steal on left-handed pitchers because they're looking at the runner the whole time at first base, and they'll see the lead and they'll know when to throw over or disrupt their timing. This Bourne club runs a lot.
The 2-2. Foul back behind home plate. We'll do it again.
Peck over there at first base is tied for second on this Bourne team in stolen bases. He has 7. He and Rockefort are behind only Matt Shaw, guy at the plate right now.
Big 1-2 punch. Saw a couple of Pepperdine hats in the stands as well. Looking at John Peck. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. Matt Shaw hit .290 with Maryland this past season. He started in every game he played in, 60 contests. Struck out 46 times, 22 home runs, 67 runs driven in. On a 2-2 pitch, Shaw lines this one into right field, and it drops for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Bourne Braves, and that brings up Chris Brito.
And the Dores might have caught a break there because Peck on that hit could have very well made his way to third if he was chugging around second. You heard some cries from the Bourne side over from their dugout. I think they were trying to get Peck's attention and tell him to keep on running, but instead he stopped right away at second base.
Colby Halter and Alex Mooney are signaling towards the right field area, towards Drew Brutcher. Oh, there you go, lost his shades. Giving him back to the bullpen. And it's always one of those fun things, and he's actually electing to take him off, it looks like. Mentioned that sun being a problem in right, but right field has been where these first hitters have gone. So that'll bring up Chris Brito, the first baseman from Rutgers. First pitch he sees. He lifts in the air to deep left center. Pinckney makes the catch. Runners will not tag as the throw is pulled down from Halter. One gone. The Falmouth defense. Colby Halter at third base. Alex Mooney at short. Peyton Stovall back in the lineup at second. Jacob Walsh at first. Outfield left to right. Travis Chestnut, Andrew Pinckney, and Drew Brutcher, who's already been very busy tonight. Josiah Cromwick and Chase Jeter, the battery. When one Scarlet Knight goes down, another one comes up. Evan Slight, the lefty. First pitch he sees. It's grounded right side. Walsh makes the play over there to first, and Jeter is there on the bag. Both runners advance, but there are two gone. Well, two pitches and two quick outs, but two runners in scoring position for Mac Horvath.
And one of the reasons that a run didn't just score there with a runner at third base is because of the strong throw that Pinckney made on the Brito out. He came firing back into the infield. Peck did tag at second, took about a step, and then went back when he realized he would have been gunned. So solid D for the Dores again on that play as well on the 3-1 putout.
Horvath spoils this one foul behind home plate and into the grandstands. Well, Horvath, 3 for 12 on the year, but that biggest hit of the three was that walk-off grand slam he hit last night against the Chatham Anglers. 0-1. Misses outside, 1-1. Horvath actually made his season debut for the Braves against the Dores here at Guv Fuller Field. The last time these two clubs squared off earlier this week. On a 1-1 pitch, Horvath spoils this one foul again, 1-2.
Horvath off to a pretty good start, you'd say. After last night, his 12th at-bat of the summer and only his third game. A walk-off grand slam. The first one hit for a walk-off in this league since 2010. Not something you see every day.
On a 1-2 pitch, Horvath looks at a breaking ball that misses upstairs, 2-2. It was a Harwich game back in 2010, I believe. That was a long time. The second walk-off for the Bourne Braves this season. First one in grand style in 12 years. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Two runners stranded as we go to the bottom of the first inning. We are scoreless.
Falmouth Commodore, be sure to sign up to become a host family today. hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Well, Chase Jeter gets himself out of a big-time jam. 2 runners in scoring position. Turns the ball over to the Bourne Braves starting pitcher, Anothy Arguelles, making his Guv Fuller debut. The righty from the University of Miami, but he will be attending Virginia Tech in the coming school year to be a Hokies baseball player. Anothy Arguelles, 1 appearance, 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He faced 10 batters, and he talked about how he used his breaking ball a lot, and it worked for him. That was in a 12-7 victory over the Cotuit Kettleers at Lowell Park. Big win there for the Bourne Braves, but he's going to go up against a very tough top part of the lineup for the Falmouth Commodores. It starts with Alex Mooney, the shortstop, then Colby Halter, Peyton Stovall, Jacob Walsh doing the cleanup work, Andrew Pinckney batting 5th, Josiah Cromwick, who had an insurance RBI single last night into right field, batting 6th, Drew Brutcher, Jackson Nicholas, and then Travis Chestnut. Matchup number 4 between the Braves and the Dores. Alex Mooney did have a couple of base knocks against the Braves. And we see Matt Shaw get ready to head over there to second base. He got a late jump out there. Big gap into right center field, but Mooney, the shortstop from Duke, looking to get things rolling. And he'll take ball 1 as it one-hops the catcher, Tomas Frick. Alex Mooney coming into today, hitting .259. 3 home runs, 8 runs driven in, 7 walks. He has struck out 16 times. Mooney looks at ball 2 inside, 2-0. On a 2-0 pitch, Mooney looks at ball 3, and it's quickly 3-0. And that's something that Arguelles did not do in his first matchup. He walked 1 batter, didn't walk anybody. As Mooney shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's a leadoff walk on 4 pitches. Bourne Braves defense. Hensler over there at third. John Peck, the shortstop from Pepperdine. He's at short today. Matt Shaw at second. And then Chris Brito at first. Outfield left to right. Slight, Rocafort, and Mac Horvath as Tomas Frick doing the catching for Arguelles. So now here's Colby Halter, who is at third today. Well, 5 pitches, 5 balls from the righty Hurricane. Halter does have a home run off of these Bourne Braves, and that was earlier this week. Bounced off the top of the wall and went out. Mooney takes off. The throw won't even be made by Tomas Frick as it's the 6th straight ball from Arguelles. And the Dores have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Mooney's certainly been stealing more bases lately. There was a period of time towards the end of June where he wasn't running very much, but that's now for him stolen base number 8 on the summer.
On a 2-0 pitch, Halter goes around, and there's the first strike from Arguelles. Halter coming into today hitting .329, 5 home runs, 11 runs driven in. He's walked 15 times, has struck out 23 times. Mooney goes. Halter grounds one right side. Shaw can't make the play, and Halter is safe at first. They're at the corners with nobody out as Matt Shaw commits the error. Here comes Peyton Stovall.
And something that happens when you send the runner is that a lot of guys on the field start yelling. From the dugout and behind the plate, you hear a lot of he's going or he's taking off or whatever it is. But for a fielder, that can interrupt your focus. And I think that might have been what happened to Shaw there, because he is a pretty sure-handed middle infielder. Only one error on the season coming in it today. And now he has his second. Could be a costly one here in the first inning with the heart of the Falmouth order now up.
Well, Peyton Stovall made his season debut for the Dores at Doran Park, where he hit a home run. But he's just trying to get somebody in with the way that this inning has been going. A walk and an E4 as Halter dives back safely over there at first base. But waiting on deck is Jacob Walsh, who has been the best hitter against Bourne out of this entire Falmouth lineup. First pitch to Stovall, and that misses inside, 1-0. Stovall, 7 for his first 32 on the season, making him a .219 hitter. In those 32 at-bats, he's only struck out once. Very disciplined in that batter's box. Chops one right to Peck. He flips over to second for one. Over to first, and Stovall beats it out. The Dores strike first as Mooney scores. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, you talked about how Stovall isn't a guy who strikes out very much, and he doesn't do it there, putting the ball in play. Even if the Bourne Braves did turn that double play, a run was still going to score, but since it's a fielder's choice, Stovall gets an RBI. There's a big difference between a guy at first and one out, and the base is empty and 2 down.
That's the second RBI on the season where he's put the ball in play in the infield. First pitch to Walsh, misses low as it one-hops Frick. 1-0 the count.
And you said it earlier, when you talk about what guys have done against certain teams, you kind of wade into small sample size territory. But Walsh, 4 for 12 against these Braves, a home run, 2 driven in. He's done some damage against Bourne pitching. Dores as a team have not.
Walsh looks at strike one, 1-1. He also, just like Stovall, hit a home run at Doran Park. That was on the weekend of 4th of July. On a 1-1 pitch, Walsh looks at a breaking ball upstairs, 2-1. Well, he said he wanted to use a little bit more of that breaking ball, Arguelles, tonight. He used a lot of it at Katuitt, but that one didn't have a lot of snap on it. The 2-1 is in there for strike number 2, 2-2.
Arguelles might have wanted to use that breaking ball more, but he's getting a little ahead of himself because at first he's got to get the ball down. Chase Jeter was struggling with the same thing in the top of this inning when he gave up 2 straight hits to start things and then a loud fly ball. Arguelles has been missing up.
Little chopper as this is in play, right back to Arguelles. And Walsh is retired as that brings up Andrew Pinckney with 2 outs. Wacky little chop there as Walsh didn't know if that bounced in fair territory or foul territory.
Now batting, the center fielder from Alabama, number 24, Andrew Pinckney.
Well, here's a guy that can do some damage. He's done some damage off of both pitching. 2 home runs off of lefties, 2 home runs off of righties. Stovall over at second as Pinckney looks at that breaking ball, and now he's starting to find that zone a little bit. 0-1.
Best pitch Arguelles has thrown all day. Got the breaking ball on the corner to Pinckney. Righty-righty is always going to be a tough pitch to throw. And most importantly, he got it at the knees.
The 0-1. That misses outside, 1-1. Pinckney hitting .231 on the season. 4 home runs, 12 runs driven in. He's walked 5 times. That number slowly ticking up. Has struck out 29 times. Trying to extend this inning and send it to Josiah Cromwick. On a 1-1 pitch, Pinckney looks at ball 2 upstairs, 2-1. That fastball hasn't really been located in the right spots tonight.
Arguelles has missed with it high over and over, and then it looks like when he tries to get it low, he's aiming it, and he's getting it down in the dirt. He's just got to find his release point right now against Pinckney, who has been very hot in July. 12 games this month, a .316 average.
He grounds this one under the glove of Hensler and into left field. Stovall goes into score as the ball is overrun by Slight out there in left field. Pinckney is into third standing up. It's 2-0 Falmouth. Boy, 2 errors on essentially the same play, and that's now 3 errors on the Bourne Braves defense.
If I were to score that play, I would call it an E5 to let Pinckney reach, and then a 2-base error on Slight out in left to let it get by him all the way to the wall. But as you said, sloppy defense on the Braves, no matter how many errors they get in this inning. Not a strong defense this summer. Bourne is 8th in the league in errors with 32 entering the day. Now they have at least 34. And that already is showing its ugly head for the Braves here in this first frame.
Well, he indeed sends it to Josiah Cromwick, and Pinckney is just 90 feet away. 3 errors for Bourne. And the Dores have yet to record a base hit this inning. As Cromwick looks at ball 1 outside. Cromwick had an RBI single last night into the opposite field. Hitting .229 on the season. On a 1-0 pitch, Cromwick looks at the same pitch and it misses outside, 2-0.
And this is not a good recipe for Bourne. This isn't how you're going to win games. Wildness and errors on defense. Leadoff walk in this inning for Mooney, who later came around to score. Just a messy, messy beginning for Bourne.
Well, Cromwick quickly ahead in this count, 3-0. And that's the 3rd count where we've seen a 3-0 count. First time came on a leadoff walk from Alex Mooney on 4 pitches. Second 4-pitch walk of this inning. And that'll bring up Drew Brutcher. Already had 1 mound visit. And Tomas Frick looking over towards his dugout. Obviously signaling for a 1st and 3rd defensive play. So here's Brutcher again with the long pants.
Well, this is a situation where the Dores can really jump on top. You know, put your foot on the gas and get off to not just a good start, but a great start. And they got a good guy up at the plate right now to do that in Brutcher.
He drives one into the gap and down for a base hit. Pinckney in to score. It's 3-0 Falmouth in the first inning. And there's the first base hit of the bottom of the first.
2 days ago in this park, Brutcher had himself a 2-for-3 day with a 2-run home run and a single. Also threw a walk in there. And in this month of July, he's hit 263. That was his number coming into the night. So that single is only going to help things. Give him an RBI. The Dores get their first hit, but they are off to a blazing start in this game.
First pitch to Nicholas is in there for strike 1. Well, Jackson Nicholas has 10 at-bats on the year, 1 hit, and it was the first hit of the season for him on the first at-bat in a Falmouth uniform. It was a 2-run single in Brewster.
Well, they'd love for Nicholas to get going because if he plays even close to what he did at Oklahoma this spring, they're going to have themselves a very electric infielder who can do a lot with the bat, contact and power-wise.
0-1 is in there, 0-2. We mentioned his numbers at OU with the Sooners at 289. All's a freshman 10 home runs, 30 runs driven in. Trying to extend this inning. Batter number 8 that Arguelles has seen. 0-2. And that misses upstairs, 1-2.
If Arguelles had good defensive play behind him, he could already be out of this inning and talking to his pitching coach about how he's going to be getting the ball down and working things forward. But he's still laboring out there because the Braves have let him down behind him. Already 3 errors in this game.
On a 1-2 pitch, Nicholas looks at ball 2 downstairs as it one-hops the dirt. So this is exactly what you want to do. You want to force the pitchers to work deep in counts, get that pitch count up, and go to that bullpen. Nicholas has struck out 6 times and has walked 3 times this season. 2-2. He swings and drives one into right field. Horvath makes the catch, moving back to the wall. Well, the Dores get 3 runs on some wacky defense from the Braves as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. 3-0 the score.
Hey Commodores fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Dores lead the Braves by a score of 3-0. And something encouraging for Chase Jeter is he's got some run support. Not necessarily in the traditional way, but he's got a 3-0 lead to work with now.
That hasn't always been there for Jeter this season. He's been more of a hard luck pitcher. The Dores have had a couple of them on this staff. Dores, for example, in his last start, waited until the 9th inning to do damage against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. By that point, Jeter was long gone, but now he has a 3-0 lead. Funnily enough, we just talked about that Brewster game a couple days ago when the Whitecaps scored 3 in the first inning at this field. The Dores do it in their first by bringing 8 batters to the plate, only 1 base hit, taking advantage of 3 Bourne errors. The Dores did leave 2, but for Jeter, a guy who preys on the eagerness of the hitters at the plate and works around the zone, he can now get to work with an early advantage.
It's going to be Wyatt Hensler leading things off for the Bourne Braves. Today's 3rd baseman, one of those defensemen that committed an error back in the bottom of the 1st inning. First pitch he sees, misses inside, 1-0. Hensler coming into today, hitting .225. 2 extra base hits, 7 runs driven in. He's walked 6 times and has struck out 21 times. He rips one to third. Halter gathers and fires over to first, and he is retired. 1 gone. And that's one of those where you don't really see that very often with Colby Halter. That took a late hop very weirdly, and he kind of smacked it with his glove towards the dirt to trap it, and then gathered and fired a beautiful throw over to Jacob Walsh at first base.
And definitely not the easiest play in the world, but he handled it very well.
First pitch to Roccaforte misses outside, 1-0. Roccaforte, the last time these 2 clubs squared off here at the Guv, was very busy out in center field. That was that windy day earlier this week on Tuesday. 1-0 is fouled behind home plate, and in between his legs, right back to Jeter. How about that? Nice brick backstop. Chase Jeter had that big strikeout back in the 1st inning to get out of that jam, where he got Horvath on 5 pitches swinging. On a 1-1 pitch, Roccaforte Looks at a beauty for strike number 2. Roccaforte coming into today, hitting 200, 3 extra base hits, 3 runs driven in. He's walked 4 times and has struck out 15 times. As he lifts this ball deep in the air to right center field, towards the gap, and Pinckney makes the catch, slamming into the wall. 2 gone.
I'll tip your cap to Andrew Pinckney. That's not an easy play by any means. That is a catch that Carson Roccaforte probably makes a lot of the time out in the Bourne center field. He's a very rangy guy, talented defender. But so too is his center fielder counterpart tonight. Pinckney's made a lot of good catches like that. He always takes good routes to the ball, good speed, and just saved possible extra base hit.
2 outs here in the top of the 2nd inning, as Moylan gets this one into right field for a base hit. First pitch he sees is a 2-out single. That's hit number 3 off of Chase Jeter.
Now batting the catcher from UNC, number 4, Tomas Frick.
This is a guy, Tomas Frick, who is a fairly newer addition to the Bourne Braves. Just 21 at-bats and just 1 hit. The Dores are very thankful they don't have to see Alan Espinal in the 9th spot, the catcher from Vanderbilt. First pitch Frick sees is a breaking ball as he swings right through it. Of course, I mentioned that because he came into Tuesday hitting very poorly, but he had a RBI single and then a solo home run. 2 runs driven in on 4 runs that day. Another fine pitch there from Jeter. It's a breaking ball, and Jeter looking for that 2nd strikeout. Moylan takes his lead over there at first base. The 0-2. Oh, he froze him with that breaking ball. It's the 2nd strikeout to end an inning for Chase Jeter as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. 3-0 the score. Falmouth on top.
Soforenko here, field side at Fenway Park with Duke shortstop Alex Mooney. Alex, you just finished up IO and BP. How are you feeling after your performance?
Good. It was a pretty cool experience just to be on Fenway, you know, take IO, take some BP, hit some in the ballpark. So, yeah, it was a pretty cool experience.
Walk me through, as not just a baseball fan, but a baseball player of your caliber. You're here at Fenway Park. What's it mean like for you personally?
I think it's a super cool experience. Obviously, Fenway is one of like the older parks, classic. It's America's most beloved ballpark, as you see there. So just be able to come here and, you know, take around a BP and take some IO. It's been a really cool experience.
Now, walk me through what it was like taking some BP. You were almost hitting one into the monster. You got them right by that MGM reward sign. So you were laughing about it. I saw Ryan Eiley throwing you some BP. He was laughing about it too. What was it like in the box?
Yeah, you know, I was just trying to hit the ball left center, hit the ball hard, and I was either getting it high enough but not hard enough, or hard enough but not high enough with that monster. So, like I said, it's a cool experience. But I mean, yeah, I thought I took a pretty good round. So.
Right on. Well, Alex, I got one last question for you. There's a street located behind the Green Monster. Do you know the name of it?
I feel bad not knowing this. I do not know the name.
It's okay. It's Lansdowne Street.
I would have never gotten that.
There you go. You got some.
Now I know. Now I know.
You got some Fenway Park history. Well, Alex, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on a great workout. The Dores back at home tomorrow against the Bourne Braves. We'll see you soon.
Well, back here at Guv Fuller Field, the Dores leading by a score of 3-0 over the Bourne Braves, along with Trey Redfield and Carter Bainbridge. Logan Soforenko with you. Absolutely beautiful day here in Falmouth, Massachusetts, as the left fielder Travis Chestnut will lead things off for the Dores. Arguelles still working after a tough first inning. Chestnut shows bunt and pulls it back. 1-0. Saw Travis Chestnut take some BP. He was laying down some bunts, and Ryan Eiley said, use it. Use that to your advantage. Use that speed. As he chops that one foul. 1-1.
At least once per at bat, we see him try it, at the very least.
He's got that speed, and it was in Hyannis yesterday where he was told that, so it makes sense where Riku Nishida and Mitch Jebb do that over there. On a 1-1 pitch, Chestnut Looks at a breaking ball outside, 2-1. Chestnut coming into today, hitting 167, 2 for 12. He's walked 1 time, has struck out 6 times. The 2-1. In the air to center field, and a base hit for Travis Chestnut. It's a leadoff single for the Dores left fielder. And that was one of those where it was basically off the end of the bat, and you'll take that, especially where it goes, because usually those pitches, those things go right up the middle where Travis Chestnut put it.
It sounded like he broke his bat, too. Could have possibly done that, but if you're Chestnut, you take him. Now you're at first base. You got a base open in front of you, and let's see how much he does use that speed we've been talking about here.
First pitch to Mooney is in there for strike 1 as he chased it. Travis Chestnut stole 35 bags at Temple College this past school year. But Mooney walked back in the first inning. 0-1. In the dirt as Chestnut takes off, and he steals second. And they're going to say that Mooney went around, according to home plate umpire Carlos Dolmo. Mooney on Tuesday went 1 for 5. But he's trying not to strike out for the 17th time this season. As Arguelles steps off to gather himself. Very different at bat in the first inning where Mooney walked on 4 pitches. Chestnut with a big lead over there at second. The 0-2. In the air to right center field. Coming in is Horvath, and he makes the catch as Chestnut dives back into second safely. 1 gone.
Well, too bad for Mooney that they didn't drop, but what you like from the Dores so far is that they have yet to strike out even 1 time. They look awfully comfortable with what they're seeing from Arguelles so far. They've stolen a couple bags. So I guess not intimidated by the arm of Frick behind the plate. But they've looked comfortable in the box. They've been taking good swings, putting the ball in play. They haven't got a chance to score a run in this inning to make it 2 straight to start the game.
They always say, put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense. And that has been a pretty strategy that's been working tonight. Colby Halter, the batter. As he'll look at ball 1. Halter reached on the error by Matt Shaw back in the first inning. One of the many errors back in that first. You mentioned it, not many strikeouts. There hasn't been 1 yet for the Dores. 2 for the Bourne offense. 2-0 the count now. As you see the shortstop John Peck play some games with Travis Chestnut, and he's actually going to go talk about perhaps a pickoff move with Arguelles.
Well, they might have had a play, and I think that's what Peck might be saying to him right now, is that you catch Chestnut leaning like that out far from the bag, and you might have a little something there. But that saying that you had about defense, you put the ball in play and you put pressure on them, it works especially well when you're playing a defense like Bourne that spends half its time looking like it's on a skating rink. We've seen a lot of that today so far.
On a 2-0 pitch, Halter looks at ball 3 in the dirt, and the count's at 3-0. Arguelles at risk of walking his 3rd batter on 4 pitches. Only walked 1 batter coming into today on his first outing of the season. That catches some strike zone for strike 1. Of course, you can't really have some good, solid numbers off of the kid because it's a small sample size with just 3 innings of work. 2-0 record, 4.82 ERA with Miami this past spring. The 3-1. Ripped down the line. That's a fair ball. It's cut off by Horvath. Chestnut slips around third as he is in to score. It's 4-0 Falmouth on an RBI double by Colby Halter.
If there's a book on Anothy Arguelles, it looks like the Dores have memorized it cover to cover. They have looked very sure of what they're doing at the plate so far, and as far as Arguelles is concerned, his location hasn't been on, and his stuff has been pretty flat and unconvincing. These Dores have not been chasing out of the zone, and when they do finally get pitches to hit, they have not missed them.
Well, now here's Peyton Stovall, who reached on that fielder's choice where it scored a run back in the first inning. As he will look at strike one. 0-1 the count. The Bourne bullpen is located behind the left field wall, so not a clear vantage point as to who's warming up. It is indeed a lefty for the Bravos. The 0-1. 0-2. Peyton Stovall in the last contest against the Bourne Braves on Tuesday went 1 for 4, had a single. He grounded into a double play. Got his first hit off of a lefty this season. 0-2. A little tight, 1-2 now. Well, the Dores with 3 hits now, matching Bourne's 3 hits they put up, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. They're looking for Stovall to pull as he chops this one off of himself right back to Arguelles, and some awes from the Bourne dugout, and we may have a little conversation with home plate umpire Carlos Domel. We saw this the other day where we actually saw Jared Saltzlamakia take over his managerial duties for the Bourne Braves. A couple ejections this week. Manager Tom Holliday got ejected in the Chatham game last night out at Doran Park on a balk that drove in a run to make it 2-1.
Might have been the 9th craziest thing to happen in that game.
1-2 is foul tipped into the catcher's mitt of Tomas Frick. There's the first strikeout for the Falmouth offense. That brings up Jacob Walsh.
I don't think that Scott Landers was all that angry about that call, to be honest. I think what that was a veteran manager move just to get his pitcher a little bit more time, just to let Arguelles catch his breath, get himself together for a 1-2 pitch to Stovall, and you see that might have paid off.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of extra time, and he comes back firing a strike. Good pitch up in the zone to get Stovall.
A little bit of heat on it as well, as Stovall was late. First pitch to Walsh is a breaking ball, and it's in there for strike one. Jacob Walsh had one of those plays happen to him back in the first inning, that little chopper right back to Arguelles. That was not off of Walsh's body. Was a 1-3 ground out. Oh, 1. Another breaking ball in there. And perhaps Arguelles searching for back-to-back strikeouts.
And that's the pitch he's been missing. Fastball's had good life, but it's been missing all over the plate. And the breaking ball so far has not been fooling the Falmouth hitters. But if he's throwing it for a strike like that, there's nothing they can do.
0-2 misses outside. Saw Tomas Frick try to frame that pitch. But Walsh takes ball one as he's trying to extend his at-bat and the inning. On a 1-2, Walsh goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Arguelles. But the Dores get another run. It's 4-0 as we go to the top of the third.
Logan Soforenko here, field side at Fenway Park with middle infielder and I guess outfielder Anthony McKenzie. Anthony, how you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. So you guys just took IO. How you feeling after it?
Felt good. The field was nice. There was no bad hops, so I'll just say that. It was really good.
A little different than playing at high school fields. Now, we're here at Fenway Park, America's oldest.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field. Chase Jeter is on the mound for his third inning of work in his third straight Friday night start. And something that he always brings to the table is that he has a gritty mindset based off of where he's from. He was born and grew up in West Hartford, Connecticut, playing college baseball at Dartmouth, Sacred Heart, and now Bryant this upcoming season. Talking to Jeter before the game today, he told me he has a sense of appreciation of playing in 20-degree weather, practicing in indoor facilities, while kids from the South are dealing with much better weather and even better facilities during the offseason. Jeter comes in every day with this chip on his shoulder, and he tells me it's an honor to share that with many players here on Cape Cod. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
All right, thanks, Trey. Absolutely. It's a great honor to bring whatever they have to the table, especially in their schools, and all the history that comes with every one of these ball clubs here on Cape Cod. Well, you just heard from Trey, along with Carter Bainbridge and all of our crew. Logan Soforenko with you. Chase Jeter on for his third inning of work. We're in the top of the third. Dores currently on top 4-0. And that second inning, that was a little more of a traditional way to score for the Falmouth Commodore offense.
And Travis Chestnut led things off with a base hit up the middle, and then Colby Halter, who has come through so many times this summer, just the latest chapter in what's been a great offensive season for him. RBI double. The Dores nearly cracked the 5 on the scoreboard. They left Halter at second base as Arguelles finally settled down, but Jeter's got a comfortable lead here for inning number 3.
First pitch to John Peck is grounded to the right side. Stovall over there at first, and he gets him. One pitch and one quick out for Chase Jeter, and that's something that we saw a lot in his past 2 starts. Pitching to contact. Saw the tempo of the game go a little bit faster. He's got 2 strikeouts on the day, 3 groundouts, 2 flyouts, and 3 base hits. Matt Shaw getting a nice reception as his name is read over the PA as he spoils that pitch foul. And why wouldn't he? Fantastic season on Cape Cod. Highly regarded infielder. You talked about his defense being superb coming into today. Did have a single back in the first inning. Fine pitch there from Chase Jeter, gets in there for a strike, too. That was on a pretty lengthy at-bat back in the first inning. It's on 7 pitches. On an 0-2 pitch, Matt Shaw lifts this ball in the air towards the gap. Brutcher coming in, and he makes the catch. 2 gone. And we saw Drew Brutcher make some adjustments back in the first inning when the first 2 balls of the game went in his direction. He said, I'm taking these glasses off, put them away, and it looks like they're actually back on him.
He had stuff falling off of him like an old car. A couple balls were hit over his way. He had to run and field them. One of them he lost his hat, another one his glasses, but now he's back kitted up and right.
So now here is Chris Brito, who looks at ball 1. 1-0. That's in there. Chase Jeter looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. First inning he faced 5 batters. Second inning he faced 4. 1-1 misses just a little inside. 2-1. Chris Brito flew out to Travis Chestnut the last time he was up. On a 2-1, Brito chops this one off of himself. 2-2.
This is going to be a tough guy for Jeter to nibble around the plate with because Brito is second in the league in walks behind only Cooper Engel of Chatham. Behind him by only 1. Brito's walked 20 times. It's more than twice as many as anybody else on this Bourne team, so he doesn't chase. Jeter's going to have to throw him strikes here. He has to just make them quality offerings.
2-2 is ripped into left field for a base hit. It's a 2-strike single for Chris Brito, and that's going to bring up Evan Slight. Base hit number 4 for the Bourne offense.
Jeter, guy who's going to pitch to contact, he's going to give up his hits. Where he makes his money in the future is going to depend on how well he's able to dance through jams like this where opponents get base hits. But I'd argue it's better that that happens than him walking guys. You've got a 4-run lead. Don't give away base runners. Make them earn everything that they have.
First pitch to Slight is looped into left center field. Mooney collapsing. He can't make the catch. It drops for a base hit. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. On back-to-back pitches, the Bourne Braves get some base hits.
And not too surprising that it came off the bat of Slight, who's been one of the better hitters in the entire Cape League for about a week and a half. He just won Player of the Week honors when he hit .591 over that span with a couple doubles. Hasn't done big damage to the Dores in the games he's played against him this year, but now he gets himself on the board here. And with one big swing from Mac Horvath, with what he did last night, he's certainly capable. He could change things around here in a hurry.
Horvath 3 for 12 coming into today. Struck out back in the first as he spoils that one foul, 0-1. That was the second comeback victory for the Bourne Braves this week. They came back against Hyannis. They came back against the Chatham Anglers. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And that's something Jeter could use. His third strikeout, and it could come for the third time at the end of the inning. Over at second is Brito. Slight at first. 2-strike pitch. Misses just a little low as Cromwell keeps it in front of him. 1-2.
Jeter's misfortune today is that he has to face one of the hotter offensive teams on the Cape in the Braves. They've crept their way up into 4th in the league in scoring, and they just had that 18-10 game out in Hyannis when they put up an 11-run 9th inning. One of those comeback wins you were talking about. An 11 spot late in the game will do that.
1-2 is in there for strike 3. Swung right through by Horvath, and we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-0 the score. Falmouth on top.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs, we have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores have a 4-0 lead over the Bourne Braves, as Anothy Arguelles' day is over, and he yields way to a left-handed pitcher.
It's Craig Scherer for Bourne, the left-hander from Skaneateles, New York. Just finished up his redshirt sophomore spring for the UAlbany Great Danes, where he pitched 16 games, a 4.73 ERA. In 64 2/3 innings, 54 hits, 34 earned, 41 walks, 75 strikeouts. And that led the Danes this spring, so he's got strikeout stuff. But he's into this game fairly quickly. This is a pretty quick hook from manager Scott Landers over in the Bourne dugout. And maybe a week or two ago, we don't see Arguelles dismissed from this game quite so quickly. But with how close things are in the Western Division right now, Bourne's got quite a bit to play for as they eye first place. So you see some quicker hooks, some more dramatic moves earlier in games, and for the last 7 innings of this one, it's going to be a bullpen night for the Braves.
And we saw this coming into today's matchup, especially us in pregame meetings, checking out the Hyannis-Wareham game out at Spillane Field. Hyannis sitting comfy, and that's a very important matchup for the Braves, because should the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lose and the Braves win tonight, the Braves could tie Hyannis for second place, but that's not the case right now as the Gateman trail 7-1. But that's big for the Commodores, because if the Dores lead holds up and Wareham drops this one, the Falmouth Commodores will be just pretty much even with the Wareham Gatemen in the Western Division. See what's going on over here is, looks like Craig Scherer is actually grabbing something.
Maybe
Not
forgot some
every
piece
day.
of equipment. Yeah, not really sure what's happening with home plate umpire Carlos Domo.
Well, something that's very important is the health and safety of the players this summer, especially with coaches watching, making sure everyone's okay. And it looks like he's ready to pitch as he talks to his catcher, Tomas Frick. Andrew Pinckney will lead things off for the Dores. He reached on that twofer back in the first inning. It was an error on the third baseman Hensler and the error on Slight out there and left. As Craig Scherer will have a couple warm-up pitches in addition to the ones he's been provided. But Carter, this is a Falmouth team that is looking to capitalize off a very fine win last night, because it's usually the teams that have the triumphant wins like Bourne that the next day, usually it's not necessarily the cleanest game. It just happens in the way of sports, it seems like.
Yeah, this is so far a little bit of a letdown for Bourne. At least it appears that way. Sloppy on defense, and at the plate they haven't been themselves.
First pitch to Pinckney, misses outside, 1-0. That was one of those where Pinckney is very thankful he's seeing a lefty, because he can hit the ball really fine off a left-handed pitcher. As he'll look at strike one.
Pinckney this season, numbers off left-handers very good. 350 in 20 at-bats, 2 doubles, 2 home runs.
Very fine breaking ball there from Craig Scherer. It's 1-2.
A real hammer on Pinckney. You're not going to hit 350 off that.
On a 1-2 pitch, Pinckney lifts this ball deep in the air to left center field towards the gap, and it goes all the way to the wall. Pinckney thinking about third base, and he's going for third, and he's going to get in there on a dive. A leadoff triple for Andrew Pinckney.
That's another triple for Andrew Pinckney, who now has 2. That's more than any other Commodore. Not just because he hits the ball very hard, but because he has great speed. You just saw him galloping around the bases. So that second strike from Scherer, that good breaking ball, he came right back with a high fastball that Pinckney just got right on top of.
Cromwell got jammed big time there as it goes over the screen and out of play. 0-1. Cromwick walked on 4 pitches back in the first inning. Infield in for the Bravos. 0-1. 1-1 now. Cromwick in the last contest for the Bourne Braves against him went 1 for 4. As he'll look at a breaking ball in there for strike number 2.
And you see already, this is an awfully early time in a game to bring your infield all the way in. But that's what the Braves are doing. They don't want to let up this run.
1-2. Chop to the right side and foul. Fielded up by Ryan Eiley, the Falmouth Commodore first base coach. Falmouth Commodore coaches on the field. Ryan Eiley in the first base box. Brett Becker over there at third. On a 1-2, Cromwick grounds this one foul again. Very fine at bat from the Oregon catcher. And these are the kind of at-bats Cromwick, it seems like he's been putting together in recent games. Big hole up the middle. He chops this one in play. Hensler checks on Pinckney and fires over to first, and Cromwick is retired as Pinckney cannot advance. 1 gone.
And the defensive move for Bourne pays off. Bring the infield in. It's an aggressive type of play early in the game because all you have to do is flip one off the end of the bat right over an infielder's head, and it's a cheap hit. But against Cromwick, who couldn't get a lot on that ball and hit it right to Hensler, Pinckney had no chance to come home.
So now here is Drew Brutcher. And he'll look at a breaking ball in there for strike number 1. And here's a guy that's been swinging the bat very, very well. Has an RBI on 3 straight games. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2.
And Brutcher's raised his average quite a bit this month, 263 in the month of July and 10 games entering tonight, but he hasn't done a lot of that damage against left-handed pitching.
The 0-2. Misses outside, 1-2. I'll tell you what, looking over at Andrew Pinckney at third, his eyes are zoned in wherever that ball is. He is looking right in their direction until that ball's back in the pitcher's glove. 1-2 is grounded right to Brito. Brito comes over to home plate as they got Pinckney in a rundown as he tries to get around, but Brutcher's over there at second as Pinckney is tagged out. Falmouth does have a runner in scoring position with Nicholas up. But how about the heads-up defense from Chris Brito?
Yep. 3-2, that put out goes. The throw back to Frick behind the plate. Pinckney might have thought he could pull off something outstanding there, but once he got caught in no man's land, you saw the writing on the wall. Alertly by Brutcher, though, to get to second base.
So now here is Jackson Nicholas. First pitch he sees, misses inside, 1-0. Well, Nicholas flew out to right field to end the first inning. A long first inning in which the Dores had 8 batters. Big gap over there in right, 1-0. That gets away from the catcher, Tomas Frick, as Brutcher will move up a bag. 2-0 now.
A strictly wild pitch from Scherer. And again, alert base running by Brutcher. So now you wish Pinckney was still standing at third base. Dores would have a run right now. Instead, now it's up to Nicholas to try and come through.
With the patience the Dores have displayed today, they've just walked twice, but only struck out twice as well. 2-0. Very fine breaking ball from Scherer. 2-1 now. And something that Nicholas will do, especially here on Cape Cod in his first couple of at-bats, he'll swing a lot. As he'll look at ball 3, just a little low. 3-1 the count. Chestnut on deck, should it get to him. Scherer from the windup. And he walked him with 2 outs. Here comes Chestnut. Nicholas, a little speedster over there at first as well. And Travis Chestnut has been very, very fine in the batter's box. Had a single back in the second inning. That was, as you mentioned, Carter, it was off the end of the bat where it sounded like he had broken it. Nicholas over at first, Brutcher 90 feet away at third. As Nicholas is checked by Scherer.
The Braves do walk a lot of hitters. This has been a problem for them this season. Only Chatham has walked more batters across the summer so far. So a lot of walks and a lot of errors. Pretty bad combo.
Chestnut pops this one foul over the grandstand. 0-1. That made that almost make sense why that Hyannis game was so crazy. Hyannis walks a lot of runs scored. Chestnut trying to extend the inning. The 0-1. Swung right through and foul tipped into the catcher's mitt of Tomas Frick. 0-2.
But despite those numbers, the Braves are still in third in the West.
Exactly.
3 over. They have found ways to win over and over, so this game not even close to being over yet.
0-2. 1-2 now. And don't ever rule these Bourne Braves out, the Los Bravos. Scherer looking for his first strikeout. And Travis Chestnut is granted time by home plate umpire Carlos Domo. Saw this a couple of times in Hyannis last night where time was granted while the pitch was being delivered. That's one of those unfortunate scenarios for the pitcher, because sometimes you can elect to throw the pitch, sometimes you can just airmail it to the net.
Well, this is a big at bat right here. Either Scherer gets Chestnut to end things or the top of the order comes back up.
He went to the breaking balls and misses upstairs, 2-2.
And there's a whole world of difference between 5-0 and 4-0.
Absolutely.
Just mentally, when it's not a one-swing game anymore and you know you're going to have to take a lot to get back into a game, that's a stark difference.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Scherer's first strikeout as the Dores strand 2. As we go to the top of the 4th inning, 4-0 the score. Falmouth still on top.
And can you draw your college logo? Nice.
There we go.
I
That's
can see
actually
it.
good. That's
I can
actually
see
really
it.
good.
Oh my goodness, so bad. That's good.
That's pretty good.
That is good.
I love how flames go.
But I can try to give you a frog. Looks more like a pig than a frog. That's no frog. That's
wrong.
bad. That's
Oh
more
my
like
God.
that's bad.
I know it's got like a weird.
Wow, okay, yeah, no. I can't draw the basic one, you know. Okay, do not judge me, please. Very stressed. Okay, ready?
Yep. Yeah.
We gotta erase puddles right there.
There's puddles.
That looks like a turkey.
That's actually really good. That's really good.
Well, the shadow's starting to creep over the Guv in the field of play as the Dores lead the Bravos by a score of 4-0 here in the top of the 4th inning in a crucial Western Division matchup. As the Dores trail the Wareham Gatemen by 2 points in the Western Division as they currently sit at 5th place. But Carter, Chase Jeter's got to get himself a 1-2-3 inning.
He hasn't had that yet so far in this game. The closest he came was the second when he faced 4 hitters. But Jeter has kept the Braves off the board, but you don't like the fact that he's given up 5 hits already. This is a good Bourne lineup, but you don't want to give these Bravos any breathing room to get back into this game. Already trailing 4-0 in the early going. So Jeter's just got to think down, think outer half, and start getting these Braves to chase.
Wyatt Hensler, the batter, to lead things off here in the top of the 4th inning. Fouls this one behind home plate. Hensler grounded out to Colby Halter. That was that wacky one that Halter smothered into the dirt, and he threw over to first. 0-1 misses low, 1-1. Wyatt Hensler hit .383 with Penn this past spring. Started in all 48 games. 14 home runs. Broken bat single into left field. And look out as that brings up Carson Roccaforte.
I'm not sure if it's safe to say that Jeter doesn't have his best stuff here tonight because he's facing one of the hotter lineups in the entire league right now. 6 hits in 3+ innings, though, isn't exactly what you want. This is now a season high for hits allowed for Jeter. His previous 2 starts, he went only 4 innings, so you figure if he runs into trouble here, this may be the last we see of him.
Thankfully not a big chunk of that bat came off. It's about a slicer, if you will. First pitch to Roccaforte is spoiled foul. 0-1. Andrew Pinckney breaking a lot of bats just about a week and a half ago. Had a pretty big consecutive streak. But Carson Roccaforte, the batter. Haven't seen too many lefty hitters in this lineup for the Bourne Braves. Roccaforte is one of them. Bourne Braves center fielder. On a 0-1 pitch, Roccaforte lifts this ball in the air to left. Chestnut gets underneath it, and he makes the catch. One gone. That's one of those where it was lifted pretty loudly, but he was moving back and twisting around, but he knew where to go with that route.
And that ball carried a little bit on Chestnut over and left. The wind might have gotten a hold of it slightly. But he's been playing more and more over there in left field. We've seen the outfield platoon over in that spot. Luke Boyers plays over there sometimes. But Chestnut's manned that spot, and he's done a solid job.
First pitch to Joshua Moylan gets by Cromwick as he throws over to second. Mooney's tag is not in time. Mooney saying that perhaps Wyatt Hensler came off the base. He in fact did not, according to third base umpire Ryan DeMar, as the Bourne Braves have another runner in scoring position. 1-0 the count. Moylan, the East Carolina Pirate. 1-0. Good spot there from Jeter, but just a little bit low. 2-0.
Better for him to miss low than high, especially with stuff that ranges down in the 70s to the mid to high 80s. Jeter isn't a guy who's going to light up the radar gun. Works on location.
2-0 is swung right through. Well, Josh Moylan, not necessarily a high average hitter. He hit .221 with the Pirates. Did have 6 home runs and 7 runs driven in. He's also hitting .133 on Cape Cod this summer. 2 home runs and 9 driven in. 2-1. High drive to right field towards the pole, and it is foul. And the Dores are thankful that it is. Moylan had a very fine swing on that one.
And you see on that swing why he had an OPS with ECU up near 800. Can hit with some power, 11 doubles, 6 home runs with the Pirates against pretty good competition. This summer struggled with the bat. Did a lot of his damage in just one game when he went 3 for 5. Other than that, he's been cold.
Well, he looks at a breaking ball, and it's Chase Jeter's 4th strikeout. It's the second one looking, and there are 2 gone. And he took something off of that pitch. You mentioned the velocity on the fastball. How about the velo on that breaking ball?
And sometimes not throwing hard just doesn't matter that much. If you can change speeds effectively and you can locate well, you're going to throw pitches like that and freeze batters just as he froze Moylan. Now a season high in strikeouts for Jeter as well. Previously 3, now 4 already in this game.
So now here is Tomas Frick as he lifts this ball in the air to right center. Pinckney makes the catch. Dores still on top, 4-0 over the Bourne Braves as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Logan Soforenko here, field side at Fenway Park with TCU outfielder Luke Boyers. Luke, how you doing today?
Hey, it's a beautiful day, a beautiful ballpark. This is an awesome experience.
Now, as a baseball fan, you're currently here at Fenway Park. You just took IO, and it's probably the most iconic baseball park in the world, but how are you feeling after your IO performance?
I feel pretty good today. I made the throws I was supposed to, fielded the ball cleanly, so that's all I can ask for.
What's it like doing it here, the home of the Boston Red Sox?
I mean, it's awesome. It's sweet. We walked in, you could still smell the hot dogs from last night's game, the food, the concession stand. It's a really cool experience.
Last night's game was that Red Sox win over the New York Yankees, but never mind that. You got BP coming up, and you're a switch hitter, but you say the left side is your more preferred side, but you got the monster over there. You going to try and hit one out today?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to switch over right-handed and see what I can do, see if I can sneak one over the wall. That's my goal for today.
I talked to a couple guys, and they say they're going with the back-sided approach. You're not going to even try with the left-handed approach there?
I'll see what happens, but I don't know if I got it in me to go backside over that big boy. So we'll see what happens.
It's got some height on it, but there's a little street behind the monster. Do you know the name of it?
I do not know.
It's called Lansdowne Street. We're asking everybody that question, so I'm giving you some Fenway trivia and some Fenway history.
Okay, I'll keep it to myself. I won't let anybody else know.
Well, Luke, thank you so much for your time. Have some fun in BP. Doors are up soon. We'll see you later.
Well, welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores lead the Bourne Braves 4-0 heading into the bottom of the fourth. And you see the standings, why this game is so important for the Commodores. They're in last right now, but you only need to be fourth to make the playoffs this year, and that means that the Dores are trying to leap the Wareham Gatemen in fourth place, the nearest team to them. Bourne, meanwhile, with a more comfortable lead in third place, but they're trying to get up to first. They only trail the Cotuit Cavaliers by 3. So that's a tight race up towards the top. The Wareham Gatemen last we saw were losing against Hyannis, and the Dores are winning here. So as we inch towards the closing stages of this season, things are bound to get interesting in the West. As Craig Scherer fires the first pitch to Mooney, who hits it on the ground to Wyatt Hensler at third. Long throw across, and there's out number 1. First pitch attacking for Mooney, and he's now 0 for 2 today.
He attacked on the first pitch one time last night, but it was against this Bourne Braves team where he attacked on the first pitch 3 times. So nothing too surprising there from Mooney, but if he likes a pitch, he'll look at it.
So Scherer, the second pitcher used in this game for Bourne, as Colby Halter steps in. First lefty seen by the Dores today. As Halter looks at a breaking ball upstairs, and it's 1-0. Falmouth had a leadoff triple in the third inning. The first batter against Scherer, Pinckney hit it to left center. As the 1-0 catches the outside corner, and it's 1-1. But Falmouth couldn't capitalize on that. Pinckney was cut down at the plate on a fielder's choice. Drew Brutcher made his way all the way around to third, but couldn't score. Still 4-0. As the 1-1 is low to Halter, and it's 2-1.
And that's one of those where you get back in the dugout, you say, got to attack next time, but also you can't strand a leadoff triple at third. And especially, got to give credit to the defense. It was a Chris Brito ground out where he threw it back over to home plate, and that caused the rundown with Pinckney, where he was tagged out.
Scherer's 2-1 delivery. Again, a breaking ball up high to Halter, and it's 3-1 on the Commodores' third baseman hitting second today. Halter so far 1 for 2, reached on an error in the first and then had an RBI double in the second inning that scored Chestnut. 3-1 is ripped to first base on a hop. Brito has it and wins the race to the bag for out number 2.
He's played some good defense over there at first today and very busy.
Well, in that regard, he's been a man on an island for the Braves. They have blundered their way through this game so far with 3 errors and 3 times at bat for the Dores. The Braves have also left 6 on base so far in this game, with 4 times up to the plate against Chase Jeter. Here's Peyton Stovall with 2 down, bases empty. Ball 1 downstairs for Scherer. Stovall today 0 for 2, did drive in a run in the first on a fielder's choice. 1-0, couldn't quite catch the inside corner, and it's 2-0 on Stovall.
Peyton Stovall thankful that he didn't get jammed big time on that pitch as the ball gets away from the bullpen. But that's one of those pitches where he would have gotten jammed big time. So good take there by Stovall. Very, very selective in that batter's box.
Stovall, another one of these infielders on the Commodores who just finished up their freshman season at their respective programs. As Stovall lines this one into center, Roccaforte gives it a dive, but he trapped it. It's a base hit with 2 down here in the 4th inning. We've seen Roccaforte make plenty of good plays, but not quite enough of a jump on that ball. A sinking liner off the bat of Stovall, and he has the 5th hit of the day for the Dores.
Well, it was very impressive that that thing was even close, because off that bat, I thought that thing was dropping 100%. Very fine job to collapse. We saw this play earlier in the week with Brewster with Grayson Tatro. He made the catch, but it was a close one. A couple of those close calls this week.
Jacob Walsh at the plate. He swings at strike one, 0-1 the count from Scherer. So now Stovall over at first base, not a guy we've seen run all that much this summer. And Scherer trying to end this inning right here and now so that he doesn't have to face the man on deck on the right side of your picture, Andrew Pinckney. 0-1, a little low, and it's 1-1. 90 miles an hour on the radar gun for Scherer. But the count even on Walsh.
He's got some good stuff out of the bullpen. Giving up a couple of knocks, but fine job.
1-1, not close, low and away, and it's 2-1. Well, Scherer so far has been armed with a good curveball. He's thrown it for strikes a couple times, and it is a nose-to-knees hook. Not a lot these hitters could do with it, but he missed a couple times with it upstairs to Halter. And is now trying to work around another base runner. Dores have 2 hits and a walk-off of Scherer so far. Throw over to first, and Stovall's back. Peyton so far this summer 0 for 1 on steal tries. He's not a runner. Two-one delivery. Off the fist to shortstop. Peck goes the long way to first as Brito digs it out of the dirt, and that ends the bottom of the 4th inning. The Dores get a hit and no runs. They strand 1 as we head on to the top of the 5th. Top of the Bourne order coming back to the plate. Peck, Shaw, and Brito. 1, 2, 3 when we return.
Hey, Commodore fans, I'm here with Alabama left-handed pitcher Grayson Hitt. Grayson, you're here at Fenway Park. What's it like being at America's #1 ballpark?
This place is amazing, honestly. I came here a week ago and watched the Red Sox play the Tampa Bay Rays, and I got to sit behind the plate. This is my 2nd time I've ever been here, and it's pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie.
It's kind of a starstruck moment, but we've been seeing a lot of the guys on IO. We're going to see the BP guys in a little bit, but walk me through what the pitchers have been doing today.
So first we went through this stretching and then like mobility testing where we got like our hips and our upper bodies loose, and then they kind of took us through some stretching, and then they brought Cressy here down from Florida, and he took us to some stretches and like taught us how to get mobile a little bit better. So yeah,
mobility.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field. Last night, the Commodores saw a heroic 5-out save from Levi Wells, but the Braves also had heroics of their own coming last night, too. It was Mac Holgraff that had a walk-off grand slam in a 6-2 victory over the Chatham Anglers. Talking to Holgraff last night, before the game, he told me that the ball just kept on carrying and carrying. He didn't even think it was going to get out, and it turned out to be one of his best baseball memories. Kids these days dream of hitting a walk-off grand slam, but now he can say he lived it. Guys, back up to you.
Well, thank you, Trey. And that game last night between the Bourne Braves and Chatham Anglers, one of the best of the Cape League season so far. A 6-2 final. The Braves entered that 9th inning trailing 2-0 and then won 6-2 on the walk-off grand slam by Mac Horvath, who's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. But those were against Chase Jeter, whose day is now done. You see the new left-hander warming up. It's Garrett Coe out of UConn on for this 5th inning here at Guv Fuller Field with the Dores leading the Bourne Braves 4-0. This Coe's 6th appearance of the summer, Logan, and he has been nails so far since coming over from the Huskies.
Absolutely, a 1.12 ERA, 1-0 record in favor of himself. 5 appearances coming into today, 8 innings of work, 9 strikeouts. He's walked 4 batters and he's given up 9 hits, but this kid has had some very fine stuff. It's the 2nd time we've seen him pitch in the red shirt Friday matchups. Seems that that's usually the timeline these guys come in. Is Jerron Watch-Brown goes tomorrow, he goes usually on the Saturdays.
John Peck, the Bourne shortstop, looks at strike 1 from Coe. 0-1 the count. So you said it, Coe with a low ERA, only 1 earned run so far this season in his first 8 innings. Second pitch popped up to right center field. Pinckney tracing in. Underneath it, 1 away.
Now, normally we would say this is the kind of game where you want to be able to attack and just get any sort of outs via putting balls in play if you're a pitcher. But with the way the Bourne Braves have been swinging the bats these past couple of days, that's not your approach. But when stuff like that happens, pop-ups, you'll take that.
Matt Shaw now at the plate. He looks at ball one up and away from Coe. So this top of the order for Bourne doing a lot of damage lately, and Matt Shaw has been doing damage all summer long. 1-0, slow breaking ball drifts in for a strike at 77 miles an hour. 1-1 the count on the Bourne second baseman out of Maryland. 1-1 line to left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit into the gap. Chestnut and Pinckney over to pick it up as Pinckney now collects it. Shaw with a little bit of a turnaround second, but now he heads back with a one-out double here in the top of the fifth.
Boy, this kid is something else. 2 for 3 on the day. That left center gap has been a big part of today's base hit categories.
All right, you are. That was where Andrew Pinckney's triple went back in the third inning. So for Shaw, who came into the night hitting .345, that's his 9th double of the summer to go along with 4 home runs and 16 driven in. He's been one of the premier hitters on the Cape and was exactly that over in Maryland, one of the best hitters in the Big Ten, and he's just kept on rolling ever since he came up here. Chris Brito now at the plate, one of his Big Ten opponents out of Rutgers, as Cromwell goes to talk things over with Coe on the mound. But just to go back to Shaw for a moment, it's very rare that you see a player head to college and continue to be one of the best players on his team. I mean, we look at the high school bios for any player on the Cape. They're going to tell you just how good the guy was in high school. Averages up in the 400s, 500s, pitchers with ERAs under 1. Just dominant stuff through travel ball high school. And then you get to college and things change. But Shaw has just kept on playing that way with Maryland. One of the best hitters in the conference.
And especially give him some credit on the fact that he's in summer ball in a league where it's been a pitcher's league this season. He's hitting .345 coming into today, so he just keeps rolling.
As a freshman at Maryland last year, hit .332 in 45 games, was a regular right away. As Brito now takes a strike, can't forget about him at the plate. It's 0-1.
That single he had back in the third inning, that left the bat so quick. That exit velo off of Chris Brito's bat is insane.
He's a pretty unique hitter. You don't see a lot of guys like him around the league. As he cuts through strike 2. 0-2 the count with 1 out and Shaw at second base.
Are you referencing him crowding the plate a little bit as a righty?
A bit, but you look at his average coming into today, 211. He's not a high contact guy, but he walks a ton. And when he hits the ball, it's usually a double. He has 8 of them on the summer. 0-2 is fouled off, and that's another part of his game. He stays alive to work those walks. So he's got a lot going for him at the plate. Good eye, good power.
Had the first home run of the Bourne Braves season on June 19th.
He's been a valuable part of this offense that has just kept on climbing the ranks. 4th in the league in runs scored right now. 0-2 is lined into left center field. That's a base hit. Shaw heading for third, rounding the corner. Pinckney, a strong throw into the plate, too late. And it's 4-1. Dores still lead here in the top of the 5th. But Brito gets Bourne on the board with an RBI single.
Well, the second Bourne Brave today going with a multi-hit game. But when one Scarlet Knight heads on, another one comes into the batter's box. And it's another dangerous hitter in Evan Slight.
Slight today. Hitting cleanup, he's 1 for 2. But last night against Chatham was his first time without a base hit since June 26th. He had had at least one in all those games in the early part of this month. Was the Cape Cod Player of the Week last week when he hit in every single game. Coe's first delivery misses low, and it's 1-0.
The amount of extra base hits he had that week was insane.
3 doubles, couple home runs. 1-0 from Coe. Check swing held up at a pitch up high, and it's 2-0.
Something that we haven't really seen much from Coe, as you mentioned earlier. Runs given up, but The way these Braves have been swinging the bat, anyone's game.
2-0, grounded to the right side. That's a base hit. Brito holds at second base with Brutcher coming up with it. Third straight hit off a Coe. And there are runners at first and second with only one away here in the top of the fifth.
Well, they have one gone, so the double play ball still here and available here in this top of the fifth inning as we're looking at the dugout, see if Mike Landry comes out to see Garrett Coe. Indeed will not happen. They want him to get out of this.
No one warming in the Falmouth pen right now. Mac Horvath at the plate grounds the first pitch to third base. To second for one. On to first, not in time. Halter to Stovall to Walsh. Not quite quick enough. But the Dores do get an out. Slight cut down on his way to second base. Brito makes his way to third. And Horvath, first pitch swinging, reaches first on the fielder's choice.
Well, when you allow 3 straight base hits, you'll take any out. Now you just got to get one more and get out of the inning.
Wyatt Hensler now at the plate. The third baseman for Bourne. Calls time to get himself ready. So for Garrett Coe, entering tonight had allowed just 1 earned run in his first 8 innings across 5 appearances, but has allowed 3 hits and an earned run so far in 2/3 in this top of the fifth. First pitch to Hensler, in for a strike, and it's 0-1. And Logan, you read the stats on this guy coming out of Penn. He is a complete hitter. 48 starts for the Quakers this spring, a .383 average with 17 doubles and 14 home runs. 0-1 as Horvath goes from first, but Mooney has a soft grounder and finishes the inning off. So the Dores hit a little bit of a speed bump. The Braves get a run on 3 hits off of left-hander Garrett Coe, but Falmouth still leads by 3 as we head on to the bottom of the fifth. Pinckney, Cromwick, and Brutcher, 5, 6, and 7 in the Dores order coming up when we return.
Logan Soforenko here at Fenway Park with Oregon first baseman Jacob Walsh. Jacob, you just finished IO. How you feeling after your performance?
Feeling pretty good. It was a lot of fun.
You talked to me about the importance of your footwork and becoming the best defensive first baseman you could possibly be at Oregon. What was that like on today?
You know, it just made everything a lot easier. I just can trust my work and know that, you know, I'll be fine. Just go have a good time.
Now, you talked about yesterday with the approach at the Green Monster trying to go the other way. You trying to hit one out over the Monster?
That's still the goal. We're going backside all day today.
Backside's the motto. All right, I got one question for you before I send you, or one question for you before I send you off. Green Monster, there's a street behind it. Do you know the name of it?
Oh. I do not.
The answer is Lansdowne Street.
Lansdowne Street.
Remember that baseball fact right there.
Walked in right there.
There you go. Jacob, enjoy the rest of the day. Have some fun. We'll see you for BP.
All right.
Well, welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores lead the Bourne Braves by a score of 4-1. You just saw the Braves tack on a run in their half of the fifth. As we take a look around the league, the scores going on right now. The Orleans Firebirds up on Harwich 2-0. Catuit Cavaliers trying to get back on track. They've won just 1 of their last 10, but they lead the Brewster Whitecaps 5-1 right now at Stony Brook Field. YD and Chatham locked up in a scoreless tie out at Veterans Field. And the big score on your screen, the crooked number, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, venting their anger after yesterday's loss. They lead the Wareham Gatemen 10-1 out at Spillane Field in the top of the 7th inning. But that result's a good one for the Dores. They want Wareham to lose so they can try to grab a win today and come away with a tie for 4th place in the Western Division. So if that score out at Spillane and this one here at the Guv both hold, that'll be your result heading into tomorrow.
You have to hold your breath a little bit with the way these Bourne Braves have been coming back.
Well, that's definitely a fact. The Braves last night down 2-0 in the 9th came up with 6 to beat the moribund Chatham Anglers, who are 10 games under at this point. But it's not their only 9th inning comeback of the season. We talked about that 11 spot they put up out in Hyannis. That's just another one of them. So the Braves creeping their way back into this game, or maybe starting to do so with a run in the 5th. The Dores now take their cracks against a new pitcher into the game for Bourne. It's right-hander Reese Sharp out of Indiana, where he pitched in 23 games, started one for the Hoosiers, a 6.42 ERA, 54 2/3 innings, 49 hits, 39 earned, 28 walks, 76 strikeouts. Playing against primarily Big Ten competition, a guy who stayed close to home. Born in Noblesville, Indiana, went on to Bloomington. But now he's facing an SEC product to start the fifth. Andrew Pinckney, the Commodores center fielder, who's 1 for 2 today with a run scored back in the first off of 2 errors and 1 batted ball. He then tripled in the third and was out trying to go home on a fielder's choice. Pinckney, Cromwell, and Brutcher to start this inning for Falmouth. Breaking ball in for a strike. Good first offering from Sharp. That pitch was just that, and it's 0-1.
Now Craig Scher's final line, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, walked 1, and he struck out 1.
0-1. Chopped to third. Hensler, another chance, and he completes it. 1 away here in the fifth.
Well, Reese Sharp, you mentioned the high ERA with the Hoosiers. Has a little bit of a high ERA through 4 games coming into today. An 11.81 ERA in 5 1/3 of work. He has struck out 7, he's walked 7, and has given up 6 base hits. It is his second road appearance. Pitched a lot at Doran Park. First 3 offerings were there.
First pitch to Cromwell is fouled to the right side, very high into the stands, and it's 0-1 on the Falmouth catcher. Hitting 6th today. He's 0 for 1 with a walk so far. Sharp ready with the 0-1. Here's the delivery. In for a strike again. 89 on the radar gun on the fastball, and it's 0-2 on Cromwell.
What a spot. I mean, absolute fantastic job. Cromwell's got to defend here.
0-2. On the outside corner. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Cromwell. He saw 3 pitches and grabbed some pine as the first strikeout victim for Sharp in this game. There's 2 away.
Well, when it works for you one time, go to it again. Went to the fastball right on the outer part of the strike zone and got Cromwell to think about that one. Might have thought a different pitch. Nevertheless, first strikeout for Sharp.
Drew Brutcher at the plate. Watches ball 1 down in the dirt, 1-0. So this Sharp's first appearance against the Dores this season. First time he's pitched against them, but he's making quick work of this lineup. First 2 batters at least. Facing a hot left-handed hitter right now, though, in the former Brutcher. 1-0, a little low for home plate umpire Carlos Domo's liking. And the count 2-0 on Brutcher, and he's ahead in the count now. We've seen him do some good things with the bat lately. A couple days ago at this park, hit a 2-run home run against the Brewster Whitecaps in a solid day. 2-0 breaking ball missed, but Brutcher was not looking for that.
Well, that 6'6" frame, it's kind of part of his advantage with those low pitches. Not necessarily going to be called strikes a lot.
Brutcher out of South Florida, 205 average coming into tonight. He watches strike 1 soar across, and it's 3-1. 91, the fastest pitch thrown by Sharp so far on that fastball. But finally for Brutcher, the average over 200. We saw him labor as low as the 130s for a lot of this season. And he walks here with 2 down in the 5th inning. Brutcher moseys his way to first. First walk of the game by Sharp, first base runner allowed. And Jackson Nicholas is the batter with a man at first and 2 down here in the 5th. Nicholas today 0 for 1. Had a hard hit fly ball to right in the first and walked in the 3rd. He can extend things here against Reese Sharp, right-hander for Bourne, on for his first inning. First pitch on the outside corner, strike called. 0-1 the count on the Falmouth designated hitter in the number 8 spot today with Travis Chestnut on deck.
Boy, Sharp has been living with that outside part of the strike zone fastball, even on a lefty hitter.
0-1, big wave and a miss by Nicholas, and the count 0-2.
Went to the changeup on the outside part of the strike zone for that pitch. And Nicholas is a guy who was struck out twice this year on 3 straight pitches.
Sharp ahead in the count, 0-2 on Nicholas. Way inside for ball 1.
Sharp kind of tilts his head and says, oh, I tried it. Still ahead in the count, though, for Bourne.
Fastball slider mix so far from Sharp. A little too far down and into Nicholas that time. Brutcher hasn't moved off first base. He doesn't run very much. 1-2. Check swing up high. They appeal to Ryan DeMar, who says no. Nicholas didn't go. Count squared up at 2-2.
It's always weird whenever the catcher looks at third and there's nobody there. Ryan DeMar over there at second now with runner at first. He'll move over should Brutcher.
2-2, 2 outs. Brutcher at first. Brutcher goes, but it doesn't matter as Nicholas goes down to a knee and strikes out to end the bottom of the 5th. The Dores get a walk, and they strand Brutcher on base. Heading into the top of the 6th, Roccaforte, Moylan, and Frick, the bottom third of the Bourne order, coming up when we come back.
Here at Fenway Park with Florida infielder Colby Halter. Colby, you just finished IO. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. It's awesome to be in Fenway Park. You know, it's a legendary park, so.
Well, you talked about it being a great park. Specifically, you're in the oldest ballpark in America. What's it feel like and what's it mean to you as a ball player?
Yeah, you know, anytime you're in any big league ballpark, it's really cool, but obviously this one's a little bit extra special, so I'm stoked to be here.
Now, you got batting practice coming up. You thinking about what I'm thinking? You trying to hit one on the monster?
I'm going to go backside over the monster for sure.
That's the motto. That's backside. That's been what they've been saying. But now I got a question for you. It's a quick one. There is a street behind the monster. See if you know your Fenway history. Do you know the name of the street?
Big Poppy Way. I have no idea.
We got Big Poppy Way. It is Lansdowne Street.
Lansdowne.
There you go. Hey, Colby, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy BP. We're going to be looking out to see if he hits one maybe in the monster or onto Lansdowne. We'll see. That has to be some crazy opposite field power, but I think he can do it. We'll see you soon.
We head on to the top of the 6th inning here at Guv Fuller Field as the Falmouth Commodores lead the Bourne Braves by a score of 4-1. Carter Bainbridge along with Logan Soforenko and our field reporter Trey Redfield, who you'll hear more from as this game goes along. Garrett Coe, the left-hander on the mound, trying to protect this lead for the Dores. This is his 2nd inning of work. Gave up 3 hits and a run in the 5th. But the Braves still trail by 3. They send up Carson Roccaforte, Josh Moylan, and Tomas Frick as Coe fires in a strike to Roccaforte. It's 0-1. Bottom third of the order for Bourne up against Coe. Roccaforte so far today 0 for 2. Breaking ball low and away, and it's 1-1.
But the Dores need a 1-2-3 inning here. Have not had one the entire day. Closest was the 2nd and the 4th. So every other inning, they see 4 batters.
1-1 breaking ball had Roccaforte flinching out of the way, but bent it over into the zone for a strike. It's 1-2. Nasty stuff from Coe. And the 1-2 freezes Roccaforte. Strike 3 called. First out here in the top of the 6th, and an impressive sequence from Coe. His first strikeout of the day. And Josh Moylan is the hitter.
Paint, absolute paint. My goodness. You mentioned it. I mean, I don't even think Roccaforte knew that pitch was coming.
First offering to Moylan. Called strike. Fastball from Coe. Oh, he threw him that breaking ball for strike 2 and then gave him just a fastball in the same spot. Roccaforte instinctively jumped out of the way. Breaking ball on the outer half this time, and Coe is just slicing and dicing right now.
And he's working very fast. Look at him. He's already on the mound, ready to go. Saying, Moylan, get in there.
The 0-2. Fly to left, foul. Halter sprinting over towards the seats, but it plunks in front of him. And there you see all the fans over there today. Seems like there may be a few more of them than usual. Stands here fairly full, but there's a lot of shade over there. It's a pretty nice place to watch a ball game if you don't mind a fielder racing over there every once in a while to keep you awake.
Well, had he made that catch, it still would have been a foul ball.
0-2 again on Moylan. Low and in, 1-2.
Got to check that out the other night in the Brewster game. Doing field duties, got to sit by the berm over there. Very nice view.
Moylan today 1 for 2. And the 1-2. Flying to left center field. Pinckney jogging over to it in the gap. And there's the second out here at the top of the 6th inning. So Coe with a better start to this second inning of work than he had in the 5th. 2 outs to begin things, and here's the number 9 hitter, Tomas Frick. Well, today with the way our center field camera's set up, you haven't seen Coe with his 6'6", 255-pound frame obscure a batter yet. First pitch to Frick is up high, 1-0. He's done that a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly to left-handed hitters. Because this guy just looks like he'd be right at home somewhere, I don't know, logging somewhere in remote Canada. As the 1-0 misses the outside corner, 2-0. Not with me on that one?
I don't know. It caught me off guard. I was
Couldn't
like,
picture him in just a flannel shirt, just chopping wood somewhere. 2-0. Line foul left side again over towards those fans. And it doesn't look like anybody made a good catch. It's 2-1.
Something that was encouraging on that fly out from Moylan was Travis Chestnut backing up Pinckney on a routine fly out just in case.
2-1, cut on and missed by Frick, and it's 2-2.
Coe wants that first 1-2-3 inning.
And just to that point, that's what a lot of defense is about. It's not just errors or not. It's whether you back up a play, hit the cutoff man, do the little things that don't get noticed. 2-2, wrap foul left side, and Frick stays alive.
I wonder if my family got that one. They're sitting over there somewhere. They're sitting on the third base side near the light pole.
2-2 again to Frick. Foul to the right side this time. So the number 9 hitter for Bourne, Tomas Frick, who's 0 for 2 today. UNC Tar Heel in the springtime. Started 56 games for UNC this year. Now with Bourne. 2-2. Fouled again to the left side, so Frick putting up quite a fight here. With nobody on base here in the 6th.
Well, the 9 hitter for the Bourne Braves, those catchers, they don't go away. I'm referencing Alan Espance.
And Frick takes first with a well-earned walk. Lengthy at bat. And he looks at ball 1 down low. It's 1-0 with Frick over at
feasting towards the lower parts in the middle.
Second time Peck has faced Coe. They did it back.
Now, do your best cartwheel.
I'm not a gymnast. I think I'd pull something.
Field in just 2 days, the MLB draft will begin, and a couple of faces that are hoping to get their names called are Drew Summers and Andrew Pinckney, a pitcher and center fielder respectively for the Commodores. They're heading home this weekend to be with their families, hoping to get their names called, but there is a possibility that these players...
Pretty good points. You have to remember that a lot of players in this league are going to get drafted, but they don't automatically have to take those signings. And in a 4-1 game here at the Guv, with the Dores leading the Bourne Braves, Alter. Chestnut at the plate, shows bunt. Nothing new for him. First pitch for Sharp misses low.
He's got the speed to beat it out, but this infield, they have the arms.
1-0 delivery from Sharp. Fastball popped back of the plate right over us, and it's 1-1. Well, ever since Chestnut came over from Temple College, he has been hitting in that number 9 spot, and he has been a guy who has either shown bunt or tried to do so for base hits, sometimes to sacrifice, sometimes trying to drag one. with mixed success so far. He bunts here and pops it to the left side over the Bourne dugout, foul.
And he's thankful that that thing went foul. But he talked about the 9 spot with Travis Chestnut, something that comes to mind. He came in to score earlier today. It was almost the second time he fell around the bases, rounding third. Did the first time at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds. He was able to stay upright, though, this time and score the run.
1-2 the count on him now. Man, a breaking ball snaps in for strike 3. Chestnut knew it right away. Third strikeout of the game for Sharp. It's out number 1 here in the 6th. Quite a breaking ball shown off by this right-hander out of Indiana.
The amount of, as you would like to say, bite that pitch had. A lot of late snap, and Chestnut saw a thing in, walked right to the dugout. He knew it.
Alex Mooney now at the plate with 1 away. First pitch to him is a breaking ball down low and away, and it's 1-0. Pitch. Chopped to short. Peck. 2 away.
That was fascinating to see when he came to tracking that ball in. Took a very late chop. Peck basically jumped up with it before it even reached him. When it was about 30 feet in front of him, he got to its level and fired a nice throw over there to Brito.
Well, the Braves have certainly calmed down on defense since they made 3 errors in the early going in this game, 3 back in the first inning, when the Dores put up 3 runs, tacked on 1 in the second, but Falmouth has not scored since the second inning, and they're 1 out away from going blank in the 6th as well. Here's Colby Halter, who looks at another good breaking ball from Sharp. That pitch has really been on for him tonight. 0-1 the count. And if Sharp can polish off this second inning of relief work, it'll be his 2nd longest outing of the season, and only his 2nd scoreless, first since June 16th. This pitch down in the dirt, 1-1. Halter today at the plate. Third baseman hitting 2nd out of Florida. 1 for 3 with an RBI double back in the 2nd. 1-1 misses low, and it's 2-1. It's been a tight strike zone so far for these pitchers, that's to be sure.
Been consistent, though.
Carlos
it has
Dolmo.
been consistent. One of the better ones we've seen these past couple of days.
We see some wide strike zones on the Cape, but this is not one of them tonight. 2-1 delivery. Low and inside to Halter. It's 3-1. So Sharp has already walked 1. It was Brutcher back in the 5th at risk of doing so to Halter.
Halter has back-to-back games with doubles, so Sharp knows that.
This one skied to deep left center field. Slight heading back towards the wall and makes the catch right in front of the fence. And that finishes off the 6th inning in loud fashion. Halter flies out and the Dores go down 1-2-3. We head on to the top of the 7th with Shaw, Brito, and Slight. 2, 3, and 4 for Bourne coming up. Logan Soforenko will take us the rest of the way on play-by-play when we return.
To House of Falmouth Commodore, be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, along with Trey Redfield and Carter Bainbridge. Logan Soforenko with you. The Dores currently lead the Bourne Braves 4-1. And we talk about the key to Falmouth's success sometimes is the fact that they can score runs throughout the entirety of a game. They have not done that today. But all of our awesome social media channels, you can check out our Fenway content on YouTube, awesome Instagram updates and Twitter updates. Charlotte Mock working so hard on our TikTok and our Facebook as well. First pitch to Matt Shaw is spoiled foul, 0-1. Well, Matt Shaw, the fine hitter he is, has not gone hitless since July 8th in a 6-4 loss to Orleans. As he'll look at ball one just a little low. Today, 2 for 3. Single back in the first, a fly out in the third, and a double back in the fifth. On a 1-1 pitch, Shaw sends this ball foul out of play to the police parking lot, 1-2.
This is definitely an important inning for Coe, not just because of who it starts with Shaw at the plate right now, but he's got Brito and Slight on deck and in the hole. Two of the best hitters on this team and in the league.
1-2. Another 2-strike swing, spoiled foul. Well, the Bourne Braves have struggled mightily against left-handed pitching for Falmouth. 108 coming into today. They've hit 200 as a team against the Dores this summer. But Coe looking to keep that trend alive and well as he's working fast. Inning number 3 of relief. On a 1-2, Shaw chops this one towards the third base side and foul.
Well, if it wasn't for that slapstick first inning by Bourne, this game would be living up to the trends that we had seen in the first 3 games. Low scoring for both teams. Across the first 3 games, Bourne had scored 9 and the Dores had scored 9.
1-2 misses upstairs, 2-2.
So these two teams have pitched each other pretty well. And the Braves have done just that ever since the first.
Breaking ball misses upstairs and the counts run full. Falmouth pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Might be one of our new guys. Braden Matthews. Payoff pitch is sent in the air to right. Brutcher underneath it, and he makes the catch. 1 gone.
Well, Matt Shaw's caliber of hitter is such that on a day where he's gone so far 2 for 4 now with a double and a single, that you felt like you've held him under control.
Absolutely.
He hasn't driven in a run today. That's probably the difference.
First pitch to Chris Brito is jammed the other way and foul. Well, Chris Brito, the entire season, has had 3 multi-hit games coming into today. He has his 4th with 2 singles. Comes up empty on that swing, 0-2. Single back in the third, run scoring single back in the 5th. On a 0-2 pitch, Brito looks at strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Garrett Coe. And there are 2 gone here in the top of the 7th.
If Coe can finish this inning off, it'll be his longest appearance of the season by a full inning. It already is. He hasn't gone longer than 2 innings prior to today. He's already through 2 2/3, and he's beating a Bourne lineup that actually does fairly well against left-handed pitching compared to the rest of the league, 241.
First pitch to Slight misses outside. Well, we saw the Falmouth Commodore offense go down in order in the bottom of the 6th. That was the first 3-up and 3-down effort for the Bourne Braves pitching staff. 1-0 misses outside, 2-0. Coe nearly had one back in the top of the 6th, but instead it was a low ball, and he walked Tomas Frick. 2-0. And Garrett Coe is at risk of walking his second batter. Waiting on deck is Mac Horvath.
Well, this Rutgers duo, Brito and Slight, has just been dominant for Bourne.
As Slight looks at strike 1.
You have one guy in Brito hitting third who walks just about every at-bat.
9 at bat here from Evan Slight. The Bourne offense.
And now a walk to Slight with 2 down. I mean, the Braves have kept the...
On a 1-0 pitch, Horvath, and hence... Well, we've seen this season
with him, and we could see the end of the day here for Coe.
He indeed will get the boot.
To shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Season debut is the righty Braden Matthews from Walters State Community College, who is a very lengthy right-hander, did not have an appearance in 2022 this week with Grayson hit. Drew Summers going to go for the draft, and who knows with the more ones that are coming.
And the Dores have had a couple guys make their debuts.
He walked 2 and struck out 2. So now here is Hensler, who now represents the tying run. At ball 1 outside, 1-1. Kind of a non-traditional pitching stance with the left foot kind of far back as a righty. 2. Did he go around? He did not, according to first base umpire Eric Carmona. Counts even at 2.
Was it 76?
On a 2-2 pitch, Wyatt Hensler spoils another pitch foul, and we have seen this a lot. Fantastic route by Andrew Pinckney, robbing Wyatt Hensler of extra bases. But the Bourne Braves make this a 1-run game as we go to
Best and favorite dance move.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in a
squaring off. The Dores lead 4-3. But a very loud home run from
a grand slam yesterday, 2-run home run today. Hit it out to left field as Travis Chestnut went back and went all the way to the wall before he ran out of room.
Reached on that fielder's choice back in the first inning.
In Sharp's first 4 games where he racked up that ERA over 11, that he didn't have a breaking ball near.
Stovall spoils that one foul.
What that called strike with the fastball means is that that hook is keeping.
Bourne's got some momentum right now. They can get a quick inning here. It could be trouble. That brings 26 times he has gone down via way of the K this summer. There's that breaking ball again, Carter. Keeping the hitters honest. That's something that a pitcher, obviously you notice it very quickly, but Peyton's sticking ball to Shaw. Shaw waits on it and fires over to first. 2 gone. Matt Shaw very busy here.
Go quiet.
First pitch to Pinckney's in there for strike 1. The thing that comes to mind first when you mention that is the fact that in game number 2 with Stony Brook, it was off of Zane Morehouse, who was absolutely filthy here at the Guv, where he went 4 1/3 single last night. But tonight he has been retired twice. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk back in the first. Pick-off play over there at first with Pinckney as the sun fully set as we got our cotton. Sold a few bags this summer. On a 1-1 pitch, Cromwick looks at ball 2 upstairs. Pinckney takes off, and he's into second safely.
Importantly, he didn't run himself into an out at third base.
So the count's now 2-1 on Josiah Cromwick. Came out of the bullpen to start off the bottom of the 5th inning.
I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite breakfast. On the West Coast, I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam.
Wheels or Dores?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use Dores, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Could empty a little bit as far as managers going to their benches. Both teams having such deep benches to use today. Wyatt Hensler was 1 for 4 on the day. They were able to get him to fly out to center field on a very fine route that was ran by in the air to shallow left center. Pinckney makes the catch as he was battling the stadium. So now here is Joshua Moylan, the DH. Takes a big hack at that one and comes up empty. Nothing in. One out here in the top. That is lined off of the glove of Stovall as he.
Today, Moylan now 2 for 4. He entered the night with 1 hit in the month of July in 26 at-bats. 0-38 since the calendar flipped over to June, but now
Frick misses outside.
Eblin, a guy over at first base who can steal a bag. Most of these Braves are. Eblin 6 for, don't have a steal yet today. I'd be surprised if Eblin doesn't go.
Especially with the small ball category. We're seeing Joey Ryan warm up in the bullpen for the
Corbett. And with how much he's struggled lately, you have to think that they don't want to have to use him if they don't have to.
Pitched a lot of innings. Not going to be delivered just yet, as it is over there at first base. They check on Eblin. He pinched, went back to his spot on the berm. Big at bat here. A big batter for Braden Matthews, who was searching for his first strikeout. The 2-2 again. Runner goes. Misses outside. Cromlick's throw is not in time. So Bryce Eblin is on deck. It's the top of the lineup in John Peck, the Pepperdine shortstop. On the payoff pitch, Frick rips this one down the third base line. It's a foul ball. They rule it a foul ball. It's ruled a foul ball by Carlos Dolmo. And the Bourne Braves dugout can't believe it. Whoa.
And you're going to pick up a little bit of the conversation down on the diamond right now just from our crowd, Mike. You heard a lot of cries of dismay over there in that Bourne dugout. A ball that, with a straightaway view from where we are in the press box, certainly looked like it could have been fair, but we don't have replay. And Scott Landers is getting his word in.
Oh, man, talk about a bang-bang play.
Third base umpire Ryan DeMar involved in this as well.
Well, Ryan DeMar does have the jurisdiction to make the call. It is his call to begin with, and if he is not in a clear sight to make the call, the next person in line is the home plate umpire.
Well, not only was that call close, but I think another thing that Landers is mad about right now is that it was late. DeMar had to get out of the way at third base because Eblin was streaking around and eventually fell as he rounded third on that play.
And here comes assistant coach Jared Saltalamacchia, because Salty's thinking that he may have to take over as manager again. It's happened once this week, but he's there just in case. So we'll do it again as the count is full. My goodness. What a crazy past 2 minutes. So Tomas Frick's fine at bat continues. And rounding third was Eblin as he actually slipped around the bag. Matthews after a delay. Another payoff pitch. And he walked him. Runners at first and second with one out, and the top of the lineup in John Peck due up.
Well, that was the easy way for Frick to fix that, at least temporarily. If the Braves don't score in this inning, there's going to be a lot of anger over in that dugout, but now you've got the top of the order coming back around, and there may be a move made here by Falmouth that they don't want to have to make.
Well, Mike Landry coming out to talk to his pitching staff. And that's it for Braden Matthews. Joey Ryan, it looks like it will be him. We'll step aside for a few.
Hey Commodores fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Well, a crazy top of the 8th inning, to say the least, as the Dores will have to face the top of the Bourne Braves lineup. And it's going to be Joey Ryan on to relieve Braden Matthews, who his line is not finished yet. An inning of work, 1 hit, 1 walk, did not strike out a batter. Joey Ryan, on the other hand, no decisions to his name. 1.80 ERA in 8 games. 1 save, 10 innings, 14 strikeouts. He's only walked 2 batters, but has given up 7 base hits. So now here is John Peck. The Bourne Braves, who have been so gritty, to say the least, these past couple of days. Top of the lineup for the Bourne Braves. 6 base hits on 16 ABs. John Peck looks at strike 1.
And this could very well be a 5-out save for Ryan. I'm not sure Caleb Corbett has earned enough trust to come in a 1-run game. Ryan so far this season has pitched twice, 5 outs or longer. He did it in his first appearance on opening day and again at July 4th at Katuitt.
On a 0-1 pitch, Peck fouls that one behind home plate, 0-2. Well, John Peck, such a fine player from Pepperdine. 205 average this season coming into today. Had a 4-hit game on July 9th.
Well, Jeff Trunni's going down with the best he's got. That's Joey Ryan, at least out of the pitchers on the lineup card today. He's been in these spots before, but not quite in a game of this magnitude for the Dores.
The Moore Park High School product. 0-2. In the air to right, twisting foul. Walsh giving chase, and it goes out of play. We'll do the 0-2 again.
And another key about this, if Ryan can get out of this inning, if he can retire Peck, he'll have to face Shaw, perhaps Brito. But if he gets by those hitters, if he comes in for the 9th, he'll be facing the middle of the order for Bourne, or perhaps the lower third if it gets that far. So this might be the biggest battle of the game in terms of confrontations between pitcher and hitter.
We talked about the trust in Joey Ryan. 0-2 again. Base hit? No, it's off of the batter. They're going to go ahead and rule Tomas Frick out as he interfered with it. And it should be first and second with 2 outs, as Bryce Eblin can not advance. ruled a dead ball. And another wacky fielder's choice. We saw this the other night as well. So now here is Matt Shaw. Tough break there for the Bourne Braves. The second one this inning.
In all my years of watching Major League Baseball, I've never seen that happen at the pro level, and we've now seen it happen twice in the past, 4 days here? Massive break for the Dores.
2 outs with 2 runners on. First pitch to Shaw is a breaking ball chopped to the left side. Foul. 0-1 now. Shaw with a multi-hit game today. A single in the first, a double in the fifth, a pair of flyouts to right field. 1 in the third, 1 in the seventh.
And of all the hitters, 2 with 2 on and 2 out in a 1-run game, it's Matt Shaw.
On an 0-1 pitch, Shaw fouls this one behind home plate. 0-2. You held your breath on that one.
He was on it. That's for sure. He foul pitched straight back like that. He had a good read. Just got underneath it a little bit.
Well, Ryan, 1 pitch away. Still so much left. The 0-2. Did Matt Shaw go around? He did not. 1-2 the count now. You heard the screams from the Falmouth dugout. The count's at 1-2 in favor of Joey Ryan still.
Really good pitch by Ryan. I think Shaw did hold up. And that ought to cool off Scott Landers over there in the dugout, perhaps still fuming about that play off the bat of Frick earlier in the inning. A whole lot has happened here in this top of the 8th.
Joey Ryan trying to send this to the bottom of the 8th. 1-2. Chopper to the left side. Mooney fires over to first. Off the bag. And the bases are going to be loaded. Infield single for Matt Shaw, and that's going to bring up Chris Brito with the bases loaded. Well, the inning just keeps on going. That's one of those where you got to figure out a way to retire the batter if you are Joey Ryan.
Well, this is what the Anglers went through last night in that bottom of the 9th inning. Chatham balked in 1 run, led a tying run score on a strikeout wild pitch, and the Braves just kept on hitting. Something about this team, they never say die.
Chris Brito swings right through the first pitch. Eblin over there at third. He came in for Moylan as a pinch runner. John Peck, who reached on the wacky fielder's choice, is at second. Matt Shaw at first on the single.
Brito has struck out 28 times this summer. That's quite a bit. Low average hitter, ideal candidate for Ryan here to get out of this.
0-1, misses outside, 1-1. Fine take there from Brito. Perhaps 2 strikes if there were to be 2 strikes in the count. A little too close to take, but that's one on an 0-1 count you can afford to take. Gives you another life in the batter's box. Joey Ryan from Boston College. Brito from Rutgers. 1-1. That's in there for strike 2. You mentioned the consistency. Saw this with Tomas Frick. Chris Brito couldn't believe that was called strike 2, but Joey Ryan, another 2-strike count, and the fans that are still around for the Dores making some noise. Bases loaded here in the top of the 8th inning. Brito behind 1-2. Just a bit outside, 2-2. Another fine take from Brito. Falmouth letting home plate umpire Carlos Domo hear it. But the Dores still not out of it. The 2-2 again. In the air to left center field. Chestnut coming in. He dives. Did he make the catch? He did. Travis Chestnut keeps the Falmouth lead. How about that? Bourne strands the bases loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3 the score.
And can you draw your college logo? Nice.
There we go.
I can
That's
see
actually
it.
good. That's
I can
actually
see
really
it.
good.
Oh my goodness, so bad. That's good.
That's pretty good.
That is good.
Oh, how flames go.
But I can try to give you a frog. Looks more like a pig than a frog. That's no frog. That's
wrong.
bad. That's
Oh
more
my
like a. That's bad.
I know it's kind of like a weird.
Wow, okay, yeah, no. I can't draw the basic one, you know, okay? Do not judge me, please. Very stressed. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We gotta erase puddles right there.
There's puddles.
That looks like a turkey.
That's actually really good. That's really good.
What a top of the 8th inning. Controversial call down the third base line. A runner obstructs the ground ball, and the Dores keep their lead as we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Travis Chestnut, very fine play in left field. The Dores are thankful they don't have to see Reese Sharp anymore, whose day is done. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, walked 1, struck out 4. He yields way to Rob Adams.
If the Braves lose this game, they're going to be talking about that 8th inning for some time because there were a lot of different things that happened in that frame. There was the play down the third baseline. There were a lot of close strike calls at the plate. Some were off the plate. Some were called strikes. But the biggest one, I think, by far, was the ball that struck Frick on his way to second base.
First pitch to Drew Brutcher is in there for strike 1. Well, Rob Adams has pitched this year. It was in the win against Katuitt, in which they won 7-3. 2 innings, 3 runs, all of them earned. The 0-1 misses outside. He walked 2 batters, struck out 3, gave up 3 base hits on 11 batters he had faced that day. On a 1-1 pitch, Brutcher looks at ball 2 outside, 2-1. And now you see the Falmouth Commodores, they want some insurance right here, and it's never seen more important. 2-1. 2-2 as that one is spoiled foul.
The Braves started this game very flat. They started out playing sloppy baseball, 3 runs for the Dores in the first inning on just 1 hit and 3 Bourne errors. But they have shown you why they're in 3rd place in the West and 3 games over.
Brutcher shoots this one into shallow left field. Coming in is Peck, and he makes the catch. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, the Dores are right back here at Guv Fuller Field tomorrow to take on the Wareham Gatemen, who were defeated by the Hyannis Harbor Hawks by a score of 15-1 at Spillane Field. Katuitt defeats Brewster 5-2. Orleans defeats Harwich 2-0. YD ahead of Chatham 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th as Jackson Nicholas steps into the batter's box. Takes a big hack at that one and comes up empty. Nicholas today 0 for 2, a fly out, a walk, and a strikeout swinging. 1-1.
Adams, another tall left-hander on this Bourne squad. They've got a couple of them. 6'4", 195 from Arcadia, Florida.
Nicholas takes ball 2 outside. I hear Arcadia, I think of Arcadia, California. About 10 minutes from where I grew up. 2-1. And that misses low, 3-1. Pinch hitter waiting on deck in Corey Collins, who you figure would play left field in the top of the 9th inning. On a 3-1 pitch, Nicholas got jammed big time there and fouls it over the screen. Counts run full.
Well, with 2 switch hitters on the bench, certainly an interesting move to go with a left-handed pinch hitter, but Collins, a guy who's been drawing a lot of walks lately. That might be the thinking there. Try to get guys on base for the top of the order.
Payoff pitch is grounded to the right side. Shaw over to first. Nicholas is retired. 2 gone. Well, something that comes to mind with Corey Collins up at the plate. He's got 7 strikeouts combined against the Bourne Braves, which is a team high for the Dores. And you figure, as I mentioned, he will be in left field, but he's trying to extend this inning with the top of the lineup due up. Mooney waits on deck.
And sometimes gut feelings are just more important than platoon matchups.
Collins shoots this one into right center field. Roccaforte can't get it. It goes all the way to the wall. Collins off of the bench with a 2-out double. And here comes Alex Mooney.
Well, there's your move. It pays off for Jeff Trundy. First pitch swinging for Collins, who looked very ready for that offering from Adams. Deep line drive to center field. Roccaforte, who was playing him shading to his right in center field, had no chance to catch that ball. And now we see a pinch runner as well.
That's his 4th double of the season, as Luke Boyers is now pinch running. And now that is a big run. Mooney, who is searching for his first hit since Tuesday in the extra base hit category, had an infield single against Brewster. But a spray chart that could benefit Mooney, especially with a lefty on the mound and a righty batter. Little breaking ball is in there for strike 1 to Mooney. Mooney had a solo home run that was loud off of the bat on Tuesday. Had to wait a little bit, but it got out of here. Boyers over there at second. 0-1. Nothing at 2.
That's definitely a gamble for Scott Landers to put Adams into this game. This is just his 2nd appearance of the summer. He gave up 3 runs in 2 innings against Catuit 5 days ago, so the number's not pretty, but he's a tall left-hander with, so far, good stuff. Low arm angle, struck out 133 at Southeastern University this spring, NAIA school down in Lakeland, Florida.
On an 0-2 pitch, Mooney looks at ball 1 outside. We talk about the move that Jeff Trundy makes by putting Corey Collins in off the bench. He puts Luke Boyers on. Luke Boyers goes into left in the 9th inning. It kind of is the chain that works out perfectly for the Dores. The Mooney right now trying to reach. Nobody in that Falmouth pen, so Joey Ryan, as you mentioned just a minute ago, on for a 5-out save. 1-2. Mooney stays alive. And once again, you get you by surprise a little bit, like, ooh.
Just a natural
almost had
reaction.
that one. Almost had that one.
Nasty pitch in on the hands, and Mooney just barely got a tiny piece of that to stay alive. That 0-2 pitch, though, was awfully close. Saw a lot of guys standing around suddenly just bend their knees in disgust and throw their heads back. Thought that was a strike over in the Bourne dugout, but Mooney's still alive.
On a 1-2 pitch, Mooney sends this ball foul out of play. Right by the berm, and some fans will grab that ball. Bourne Braves will have Evan Slight, Mac Horvath, and Wyatt Hensler due up in the 9th. Jam-packed game full of action. Boyers over there at second. 1-2 again. Misses outside, and it gets away from the catcher, Tomas Frick. And Boyers is just 90 feet away. And we'll see if that is ruled a wild pitch or a pass ball. And indeed is a wild pitch. So now anything in the outfield. Obviously, Mooney has that fantastic swing that could leave the ballpark, but anything in that outfield will score a run.
Well, Adams threw 13 of those this spring. He's bouncing balls sometimes. Does it there, and now Mooney just needs a little base hit.
The 2-2. Mooney takes ball 3 inside, counts run full. And here's something that is very encouraging. A deep count with Mooney, all the first pitch attacking he's done the past couple of days. Sitting in this batter's box, picking what he wants off of the big lefty from Southeastern. On a payoff pitch, Mooney heads to first base on ball 4. That's going to bring up Colby Halter. We've seen the Dores do some 2-out damage this season. They're trying to do some here.
Just an outstanding at-bat from Mooney. He had to lay off some very good pitches from Adams in and around the strike zone, breaking balls down and in to a right-handed bat. And you have to think that Mooney thought at least once going up to that plate about the first pitch he popped up against Hyannis in that 9th inning. With the bases loaded and the Dores trailing by 1. And we talked about his aggressiveness at the plate. He likes to swing first pitch, but when he had to break out the walking stick there, he did it with a very, very good at-bat.
So now it's going to be Colby Halter. Nobody warming up in that Bourne bullpen, so quick little visit with the Bourne infield and the pitcher, Rob Adams. Halter today with a run-scoring double back in the 2nd. Falmouth looking for some insurance as they've been out-hit 12-6 by the Bourne Braves. Halter takes strike 1, and Halter didn't like that one. Halter coming into today, hitting .329.
Well, the Falmouth dugout didn't like that pitch because that was the first time it's been called a strike today. Up in that part of the zone.
It's the the third lefty we've seen. 0-1. Mooney takes off. Back pick over to third as Tomas Frick checks on Boyers, and Halter quickly behind in the count, 0-2. And he's taking his time, gathering himself. Dores have not struck out much today, 7 times.
Now you have to wonder about Halter. Can he just put a ball in play? He's going to have to do it lefty-lefty.
Put some pressure on the defense, especially back in the first inning. We saw what happened there.
I think even if the count had been 1-1, they might have thought about walking him to bring up Stovall, but 0-2, you just can't do that.
Boyers at third, Mooney at second. 0-2. Spoiled foul. And again, it's a 2-strike swing reaction that gets you a little bit thankful there.
Well, these pitches from Adams have been good. That's the thing. I mean, these hitters are putting on quite a show in terms of plate vision and plate discipline. They have laid off some great offerings. They have fouled off some others, especially lefty-lefty, where you know it's so tough, especially against a guy like Adams, who is tall with a jerky motion, throws a lot of limbs at you through his delivery.
0-2 again. The other way, and foul. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Colby Halter, very fine 2-out, 2-strike at bat right here. The Bourne Braves nearly tied the game on a very close foul ball off of the bat of Tomas Frick. The Dores still lead by 1. Halter looking for more. Runners at second and third. 0-2 again. fouled behind home plate. And Halter stays alive, and he's happy that he got some contact because he didn't get all that ball.
Got a piece of Frick as well behind the plate. A lot of long at-bats in these last couple innings. This game was rolling on at a fast pace, I should say, until probably the 7th inning when Bourne got those 2 runs to get back in the game. Ever since then, it seems like these players have been really locked in. They understand the stakes. They don't want to be the one to make the last out.
Halter making Rob Adams work. 0-2 is grounded to the right side. Shaw fires over to first and retires Halter. The Bourne Braves have 3 outs to either tie it or take the lead. But Joey Ryan on to complete a 5-out save. We'll be right back.
What are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm just looking forward to, I mean, it's obvious, but just the games, you know, seeing some great baseball, some great talent, and working with all these interns and really just learning, you know?
I'm just excited to get to know everyone, do some fun social media stuff, make a lot of TikToks, and watch some baseball.
I'm looking forward to spending time with all of the other great interns, looking forward to watching good baseball, spending time around the field, and being in Falmouth again.
It was just such a great experience last year. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's the best players in the country, and the opportunity to cover them is awesome.
Well, the Dores are trying to close it here. We say the biggest matchup of the season, but that could be tomorrow or the next day with the way these standings have been going, along with Trey Redfield, our field reporter, and Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko with you. It's been a fun one today. The Dores haven't gotten a run since the 2nd inning, but they're in line for the victory should they get these 3 outs, but the Bourne Braves are going to make it very, very tough for them.
No doubt about that. They made it very, very tough in the 8th inning when they got 2 hits and stranded the bases loaded off of 2 different Falmouth pitchers. No action in the Dores bullpen right now, so you have to figure for Joey Ryan on the hill to close things out. Not sure if he's going to win this game or lose it, but he's here to finish it.
So it's going to be Evan Slight, the left fielder. 2 hits on the day. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball that misses outside, 1-0. The Bourne Braves have won 5 of their last 6 coming into today. Dores trying to win 2 in a row. 1-0. 2-0 quickly with the blink of an eye. Wareham fell to Hyannis, which means the Dores are trying to tie the Gatemen for 4th place going into tomorrow's matchup. 2-0 pitch. Quickly 3-0 now. Got to be real careful here.
Well, leadoff walk almost hurts you as much as just giving up a home run right away, because then you bring the go-ahead run to the plate every subsequent hitter.
On a 3-0 pitch, Slight looks at strike 1. Fine spot there from Joey Ryan. On deck is Mac Horvath. 3-1. Joey Ryan comes all the way back to get this a full count. Ryan looking for his first strikeout, but it doesn't matter how the Dores get the out here. They just want to get it. Should it be via way of the K or ground out, fly out? The payoff pitch. Grounded to short. Mooney gathers and fires. High throw is pulled down by Walsh, and Slight is retired. 1 gone in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, if you're Joey Ryan, there's your first test in the 9th inning. Evan Slight, a guy who has been hitting the lights off the ball lately and can take you deep. But here's another guy who can hit one over the wall and has done it each of the last 2 days. Two-run homer in the 7th inning, and that's Mac Horvath.
First pitch to Horvath. Nice breaking ball there from Ryan. 0-1. Horvath today had the 2-run home run off of Garrett Coe in the 7th inning to make this interesting. He's got the count even at 1 now. 2 home runs in just as many days. Came into today hitting 3 hits out of his first 12 at bats. And he's ahead in the count 2-1.
You have to be careful with a hitter like Horvath, but you can't be too careful. Even the best guys in this league still fail 7 out of 10 times. And even though he's hit a ball out of this yard today, you can't not attack.
On a 2-1, Horvath takes ball 3 outside. Well, Ryan has had 3 ball counts. Now the first 2 batters he's seen here in the 9th inning. He's going to have to come back and attack Horvath. That's the motto on Cape Cod. 3-1. Swung right through. Another full count.
90 miles an hour on the gun. It was Levi Wells who closed things yesterday in Hyannis. In postgame, he talked about how he has a post-pitch, post-appearance routine when he's in a game.
Payoff. Got jammed as Mooney, with a long throw, gets him. Back-to-back full counts, back-to-back groundouts to Alex Mooney. And the Bourne Braves are down to their last out.
Just to finish that point, if Ryan's got something he does after each pitch before he throws the next one, you have to figure he's going to be doing it here, hopefully to good effect. Wyatt Hensler, a guy who has hit very well against the Dores so far this summer.
Hensler 1 for 4 on the day. He'll look at ball 1 outside. Had a ground out back in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, singled in the, grounded out in the 5th, and flew out in the 7th. On a 1-0 pitch, Hensler looks at strike 1, count even at 1. Wyatt Hensler, talked about him hitting so well against the Commodores. Went 2 for 3 on Tuesday. 1-1. Misses outside, 2-1. That spot, talked about the tightness of the strike zone. It's been tight all day. But Ryan has fell behind in every at-bat here in the 9th inning. Trying to get Hensler. On a 2-1, Hensler spoils this one foul, and the Braves are down to their last strike. Mooney has been very busy here in the 9th inning. A couple of 6-3 groundouts. Joey Ryan trying to earn the 5-out save. It'll be the 2nd night in a row the Dores will do that. The 2-2. Missed just a little inside. Another full count here in the top of the 9th inning. Fine spot there from Ryan, but we play on.
And you heard some howling from the Falmouth dugout. Hensler just laid off a good pitch.
The payoff pitch. He walked him. The tying run is on, and that brings up Carson Rocafort. As this game just gets your heart going just a little bit faster. It's been the way of the Dores, and we'll see if we're going to get a pinch runner, and indeed we are.
Carson Jones, outfielder off the bench. I was interested to see if he was going to pinch hit for Rocafort in this at-bat, but that's how Scott Landers chooses to use him.
Well, we've seen some pinch runners today as we see Mike Landry head out to talk to Joey Ryan, because you never know, especially here on Cape Cod. Carson Rocafort played at Louisiana Lafayette, where he hit .374. Started in every game, 58 contests to be exact. He hit 11 doubles, 3 triples, 16 home runs on 219 at-bats, 26 walks. Was hit by a pitch 3 times. Only struck out 34 times. But coming into today, only 3 runs driven in here on Cape Cod, where he has 3 extra base hits. Struck out 15 times. His 16th was in the 6th. Walked 4 times as well coming into today.
Including his 0 for 4 today. He's hitting .189 on the summer. He's hurt the Dores more with the glove than the bat.
Well, the Bourne Braves trying to keep their game rolling as Falmouth looks to escape. First pitch is right down the strike zone, 0-1. As Carson Rocafort tries to put the ball in play, as we saw the Falmouth Commodores do in the first inning. See if it messes up the defense. On an 0-1 pitch, Rocafort takes ball 1. It was in the dirt. Carson Jones took a nice little secondary lead over there at first. Cromwell thought about throwing back, elected not to. As we hear the close the door chants from the kids here at Guv Fuller Field. Dores 3-11-1 here at the Guv. The 1-1, runner goes, ground ball, foul. Very fine snag by the Bourne Braves first base coach. Took the cap on that one. But once again, the Braves are down to their last strike.
Well, Jones has stolen 4 bases in 6 games. He is fast and can go. Just another thing for Ryan to have to worry about, but he's a strike away from getting out of this whole thing.
Ryan looking for his first strikeout since coming out of the bullpen. 1-2. Another spoiled pitch. He talked about this a lot with Tomas Frick. We're seeing it in the bottom parts of the lineup, to be specific. And now it keeps the game going as Carson Rocafort steps into the batter's box. Joey Ryan trying to get the save. Last save he had was against the Chatham Anglers a while ago here at the Guv. The 1-2 again. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The ball game is over. Joey Ryan gets the 5-out save. The Falmouth Commodores will play the Wareham Gatemen tomorrow, as they are both tied in the Western Division with 26 points. Another big tilt against a Western Division opponent coming up.
And they're only going to be big from here on out. This game was talked about beforehand as one the Dores had to have today against a team in the Western Division in 3rd place in the Bourne Braves that they're not necessarily trying to catch, but a team they had to get some points off of. And the Dores, once again, for the 2nd straight day, come away with a 1-run win, first at Hyannis and now here. So Jeff Trundy rode with Joey Ryan to clinch out that 4-3 lead. The 5-out save, as you said. Yesterday it was Levi Wells who came in the 8th inning to close out a game.
That's right.
So these high-leverage bullpen arms coming away with some big-time pitches and appearances. And tomorrow, the Dores play the Wareham Gatemen for 4th place.
Well, the Falmouth Commodores have been gritty within the last 48 hours, and Joey Ryan, who just knotted up the 5-out save, the 2nd one in a row for the Dores. Last night's came from Levi Wells. The 3rd member of our team, Trey Redfield, is down there talking with Joey Ryan. We send it down to you, Trey.
Thanks so much. I'm here with the guy that got it done tonight. Joey saves. Great game. The Commodores have gotten a 5-out save. Joey, how's it feel?
Feels great. You know, I just love going out there, throwing strikes. Although I didn't really throw many strikes tonight, but it's good to get the win, good to get the save. So
exactly. You couldn't have. So you got the save. You're from East Falmouth. You have all the. How's that make you feel?
Feels great. I mean, I got some of these kids in the camp, so I know a lot of them. I hear them, but I try to block it out a little bit, try to focus on the pitch. But yeah.
All right, so you guys won. Where for 4th place? What do you guys have to do tomorrow to get the win against the Gatemen right back here with the Guv?
We just got to keep throwing strikes, keep hitting balls far, you know. Like when we hit the ball, we seem to pitch well, so hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
Joey Ryan, thanks so much for taking the time. Logan, back up to you.
All right, Trey, thanks so much. The Dores squeaked by. 4-3 the final, the Bourne Braves and the Falmouth Commodores. What a matchup this was, and we're doing it again tomorrow against the Western Division opponent. On behalf of all of our fantastic crew, as you can see the names on your screen, all the names that are behind the scenes that should be getting all the credit. Olivia Charbonneau, all of our videographers, Brenna Capozzi, Carson Depp, Ellie Padelli, Sean Oldred, our director, Charlotte Mocht, our social media coordinator, our photographers, Meg Murphy and Andrew Saling, our web reporter, Tommy Mumau, and our supervisors, Ernie Hyde and David Kuna. And on behalf of all of our broadcasting team and our PA announcer, Dan Fox, our field reporter, Trey Redfield, and Carter Bainbridge, Logan Soforenko saying good night. We'll see you tomorrow for a date with the Wareham Gatemen.